You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run, but did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Dungeon Run. Lest we forget, my name is Rachel Seeley. I am your DM.
Woo!
Don't forget that.
Already gone.
Me too! What am I doing here? I don't remember. Oops! I am joined once again by my fabulous, amazing, wonderful talent that I love so very much. And we are back from the dead, almost, and ready to party. But first, Morgan, let's talk business.
Let's do it! This episode is sponsored by Sync, the ultimate pirate and tattoo supplement book for 5th edition D&D, which is live now on Kickstarter when you're watching this. Sync is a 200-plus page supplement book filled with new mechanics and gorgeous illustrations, magical tattoos, and so much nautical and pirate goodness to add to your games. We've been talking about all the details and content available in this book, but also, did you know it includes an original campaign and designed for levels 3 through 10? That's a lot of levels.
Yeah.
With story, settings, and dungeons easily dropped into any pre-existing campaign, this book really packs in all the good stuff. Join their Kickstarter right now. Check out what this amazing team has created. Johnny Stanton, Sam Rusk, their amazing team, Hit Point Press, you guys are amazing. Sync on Kickstarter right now. We are also sponsored by Eldritch Foundry, beautifully detailed minis, and they're always showcasing new designs so you can get a glimpse of what's possible. Massive elementals, heavenly celestials, post-apocalyptic warlords riding cybernetic wheelchairs. It's all within your grasp. Yes. I'm not joking about that last one. It's right there on their front page. Go to eldritch-foundry.com and use our discount code TheDungeonRun at checkout to get 20% off. We're also sponsored by Die Hard Dice. Gorgeous dice and tabletop accessories for every occasion. Check it out at dieharddice.com. Don't forget to use our coupon code DungeonRun at checkout for a discount on us. Also, for next week's episode, the rest of the cast doesn't know this, but they might have some character-specific dice coming from Die Hard Dice.
What? Ooh.
What?
Does the DM get some?
Yes.
Ah!
I'm not going to leave you out.
Yes. I want the loot.
New dice. Lest we forget dice, I will let everyone know specifically what dice we chose, but I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. Lastly, our show is made possible by Patreon. Go to patreon.com/thedungeonrun for all the incredible bonus content. For just $5 a month, you get access to behind-the-scenes content, early access to episodes, and our after-show short rest, exclusive to patrons. We've been doing this, but because these episodes are pre-recorded, that means we can release it to the Patreon as soon as it airs on Twitch. You don't need a Twitch subscription. Just put your $5 over on Patreon. You'll be able to get this episode as soon as it's done, right over there on Patreon. We're so excited to do that for our folks.
Woo-hoo.
At higher levels, you can also get rewards like free interactivity and a spot in our patron-exclusive D&D game run by yours truly. I'm doing that town hall this weekend where we're going to try to get all 30-plus characters in the same room at one
That's
time.
insane.
I'm a crazy person. New patron shout-out. Welcome, new patrons, Kat the Mage and R. Nietzsche.
Hi, Nietzsche!
Nietzsche, you know, like the philosopher. There's so much more fun to be had. Get on over to patreon.com/thedungeonrun.
You're taking my shtick!
I did a Rachel.
You're taking my shtick!
I'm so
stealing
sorry.
it from me. That's fine, you can do it. I let you borrow it. So, as you may or may not know, if you're new here, hi, welcome in. We are an interactive show. If you are not new here, you know how this goes. But this is where you have the chance to affect our story in unique and surprising ways. Use our custom Twitch extension or the link that you can find in our About section on our Twitch page, or you can just go to streamelements.com/thedungeonrun/tip. There are 2 ways to help or challenge our players. You can choose to give advantage or disadvantage for any player or me. Let me have some advantages.
She's still got plenty.
Oh, please, no.
I can't wait. Or, for this mini-series, we are using a new system called the Forces of Time. All of our usual glimpses and bursts will go towards the next Force of Time, and when a new level is reached, the sands in the hourglass will move in unexpected ways, and a new card will be unlocked. We've got a couple of those tonight.
Ooh.
These cards are guaranteed to affect the game in surprising and fun ways, and they get stronger as we go, and so do I. On that note, and it says it in the notes, hit it, Sean! Hello and welcome back. So at the top of every episode, I let one of my players do a recap, and if they do a good enough job, which they usually do, they will get advantage on one roll from the DM in this game. Who wants to do the recap?
I volunteer as tribute.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Bring it on, Morgan.
Too
good.
I mean, where to start? That's really where to start is always the question, right? Okay, but we are a table. We are a party of 4 who is missing their 5th. 400 years ago, we were a party called the Five Echoes here in the lower part of the island of Mechas and in and around the city of Mechas. Simon Fogbranch, Zorhanna Finch, Lucyvian, Rivers, and Vesper, which is we just discovered. Now we are seemingly on the trail to try to recover these memories and figure out, because Vesper seems to have been hole punched out of our thoughts, and so we are being forced to kind of remember and find these memories to track down exactly what happened to us and perhaps what happened to him. So right now we've just finished a violent memory in the town of Sunfall against an evil druid, really, name of Orpheum. No, not Orpheum. Orpheum, the theater. No,
Same
Orfeo.
name, basically. They both mean Orpheus.
Yes, and it was who really kind of really narcissistic, really kind of pictured himself as a druidic sort of deity, was trying to ascend to godhood at the downfall of Mechas and basically all the other gods in the region, like really kind of setting himself up. He was already having, giant frescoes made on the walls of his church. We were told that in his possession was a grimoire, an evil book that seemed to have within it the rituals to make yourself a god. We were on the hunt to try to find this grimoire and remove it from him. Unfortunately, in doing so, we went several places for that, which included talking to 2 former members of the cult who had left it out of fear of this man Orfeo, which was a woman named Amalia and others. We tried to sneak into his church. We used some crafty teleportation. A devil was summoned, which was apparently immediately banished, but it was a good idea. All of this was happening, and then ultimately it resulted in a pitched battle with us, Orfeo, and 2 of his servants, a priest and a warrior. It was a very heated battle, which included Zoe feeble-minding their priest, which was fun.
Yeah.
Such a clutch.
Yeah. Never gonna forget.
That was insane. You took out maybe the hardest part of the battle.
But ultimately ended with Vesper being the one to deal the killing blow to Orfeo, and in a cinematic that the characters did not see, it was revealed that Vesper somehow pocketed this grimoire in the killing of Orfeo. It ended with Vesper. For some reason, Vesper seems to be gathering power on his own, not to our knowledge, beyond our knowledge. I think that's about it.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Set aside a d20 and remember that you have advantage on one roll
Okay,
from your recap.
copy. It's there.
Are you
So-
sure it's that one that you're going to use?
Yes.
That is a really pretty one. That's very nice.
This is made by the artist Kayla Klein. How you doing, Kayla?
When we left off, you were in the middle of this memory, and you fall out of it like you're falling from a trance. And you begin to see this beautiful, ornate temple with these mosaics and frescoes of Orfeo disintegrate around you until it becomes the desecrated temple that it was that you first entered. And at your feet is this broken shard of obsidian. Dull. No longer as shiny as it was. And this happens every time you have a memory. How are we feeling?
Are there still frescoes and things of Orfeo?
They're kind of damaged. There's one that sort of shows this much of his face and a sliver of his body, but most of them have been worn away with time. There's been no care in the upkeep of this temple, that's for sure.
kind of looking at the kind of dull obsidian on the ground, Lucyvian kind of takes a step back, looks over to Zoe, and like, do you still have that one piece of obsidian we've been carrying around?
Of course.
Stuffed in the honeycomb.
Yes.
Or in the right.
In the wax.
Oh, in the wax, yeah.
Did I take it out at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
have
took it
been.
out.
It seems to amplify magic when you use it in tandem with the
But
obsidian.
what did we take? I'm sorry, what did we
used
take in?
For
To look at
scrying.
something? Yeah,
I used it
scrying.
when I scried on.
Yes.
And then you gave it
on
back
Orfeo.
and it was fine,
No,
right?
on
Yeah.
Orfeo. No, I remember.
Not on Orfeo, on Vesper.
By using that though, it didn't.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't.
how could I forget
No, it
that?
hasn't
Shattered. Okay.
exploded.
Great,
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Do you have an idea?
Should we all try touching it to see what would happen? I mean, every time we touch the obsidian, we get a big memory, and we've been carrying one.
Well, I touched it.
But we
Yeah.
didn't touch it together.
And this one wasn't glowing like the others. It's worth a shot. I'm not saying no.
Zoe takes it out of her pack and presents it to the group.
Yeah.
When you all touch it, there's a beat where you're expecting something to happen, and slowly you begin to realize that the shard is growing cold underneath your fingers, very, very cold. And what you get is this feeling of ice on the back of your neck. You're being rushed into a scene, and it's almost like someone has taken a VHS tape and ripped it all out, and you've tried to put it back into place. What you're seeing is garbled images and shapes. It's all very dark. You see, for a brief moment, Vesper crying, and he's very young. It's a child Vesper. He's in the streets, and he's in front of the orphanage where you picked him up. The Blue Ribbon Orphanage. And the memory comes unbidden to you because of this crystal. You remember the Blue Ribbon Orphanage because there was a news bulletin about the entire organization disbanding. Blue Ribbon Orphanage is a series of orphanages across the entire land. There were many of them. And what was found through investigations was that they were taking these children, sometimes by force, and using them for child labor. These children were being sent out to basically become little urchin gangs of criminals. They would steal in the streets and bring it back. A little Oliver Twist. And Vesper was a part of this orphanage. Which might explain why he is so incredibly good at pocketing things.
Right.
This memory seems to be his that you are all experiencing, and perhaps because it is not your own, there's this feeling of like static in your head. You're very lightheaded even in this memory that is not your own. And you begin to feel nauseous, and it just grows from here. Your feet feel leaden and stuck to the ground, and you cannot drop this shard as much as you begin to want to because it feels awful to be here. You see snippets of Vesper's life, and you begin to realize how hard it was for this child. And even though the Blue Ribbon Orphanage has been disbanded, the people in power were not really dealt with. And you begin to feel within yourself an emotion that is not yours. You recognize this is an emotion of Vesper's. It is sickening. It's rage. It's a black bile of an emotion that sits deep in your gut and burns like a fire in your belly. It's a want for revenge for people who did not face justice. And as soon as you've been pulled into this memory, you see flashes and images, and they're static, and it's going back and forth in time, like someone's pressing fast forward and rewind very quickly. And when you come out of it, you're all thrown to the ground, feeling sicker than you've ever felt in your life that you can remember, and the shard has fallen, still in one piece, on the ground in front of you.
Okay, well,
Rage.
yeah.
Was that what you were
Revenge.
expecting?
I expected a memory, well, our memory, but
All right.
It seemed to be Vesper's memory?
yes.
Just
And he was holding that the whole time he was with us.
That need for revenge.
I've been thinking something, and I'm not even sure if I want to say it.
Say it. We don't have time to waste.
Yeah.
I guess. Or we're dead, so who knows.
Yeah.
You said something yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I think I dismissed it at the time, but the more I think about it, the more I think there might be some reason to it, which is, what if we forgot what we forgot for the right reasons? And what if we're bringing it back, we're giving power to something bad?
Yes.
Because I don't want to think this about Vesper. I don't want to think that this angry young kid that we took in and that we helped is hiding things from us, and that it had to eventually lead to destruction and our death, right? I don't want to think that, but what other choice do I have? What other evidence is there that besides this led to that?
So you feel as though Vesper is the reason that everything
I'm afraid.
is...
I'm afraid.
That's quite an accusation.
We do have a couple of more places to visit.
Yes, we still need to go to Denton.
Yeah.
And we're still acquiring clues. Nothing is set in stone yet. It doesn't look good, but we don't have enough information to prove whether...
And I keep thinking about the cards. I mean, what Fermina said that a deal was made, and that memory that I had about the moment of our death. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I have this right. Which was, there was a feeling of a handshake or a deal, and then a blast.
I mean,
that almost feels like... Now, it could have been a bomb going off that we were completely unaware of, or it could have been us saying, we'll sacrifice ourselves to make this stop.
were you grabbing a contract at any point in this memory? Or do you just remember the handshake?
No memory of any kind of paper or anything like that. I just remember the cave. I remember the water that we landed in afterwards, and I remembered shaking something's hand.
Okay, we shake hands for many reasons. We can't jump to conclusions. We must stick with logic.
Did you notice any scars or anything on the hand?
Anything identifying the hand now that I've seen more of Vesper? Would I be able to recognize it as his hand?
Maybe a history check.
Sure.
Oh.
Not 20.
This note, which one were you looking at?
Wait, say again?
What were you looking at for the
hand, the history for it, specifically that memory of our death.
Gotcha.
Right?
It was not Vesper's hand.
It was not Vesper's hand.
The hand that you saw had a nat 20. Okay. You
Here it
saw very long fingers, unusually long, and very pale, almost lavender skin.
Oh no. That's Morgan saying, oh no.
You rolled a nat 20.
Yes, I did. No, it wasn't Vesper. It didn't look human. Lavender skin and long fingers, like weirdly long.
Vesper did have very short fingers.
And he was very tan.
Right.
Very
Yes.
tan. What were you thinking, though? About...
I just don't want to get so caught up in emotion. Because that's one thing that memories do. They trigger emotions, just like the emotion that we felt when we looked into Vesper's memory. We must remember to keep logic and to do everything we can to go to these places and get all the information.
I hear you. I just want to ask the question. At what point, if there's some truth to what I'm saying, at what point do we turn to each other and we say stop?
If there's some truth to what we're saying, We stop when we make him pay.
Yeah. Because if there comes a point when just trying to get our memories means making things worse, we gotta walk away.
Yeah.
But we almost agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Zoe picks up the shard of obsidian and kind of pushes the wax back around it.
It moves around the crystal,
Yeah.
all the sharp edges are covered, and it smells nice still to this day.
The other thing, there was something, going back to the cards again. Hermione said, with your card, that she just called him, or they just called him he at the time, but I think we can safely assume that they were talking about Vesper. Vesper was looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
Needed you for something.
Yes, and it became increasingly uncomfortable. It made me
That's leading to my
nervous.
bad feeling. That's one of the things leading to my bad feeling, at least. I don't want to think this about our friend. Especially, I don't want to think this about that boy that we just saw out in front of an orphanage.
I wonder what I was doing.
Try to remember.
Sure. And I'm gonna try to I mean, can I remember anything about that? I mean,
What
because it was
specifically?
what I was looking at when Vesper was looking over my shoulder. Like, am I remembering at all what I was looking at? What he would be kind of spying on?
Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Do it. Sorry, my mic.
Get it together.
Get it together, Morgan!
So
Come
sorry.
on, Morgan.
Wait, was it not on the whole?
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
kicked it off.
It just fell off.
Yeah.
All right. Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Oh, nat 20.
Roll it
Okay.
high. Roll it high.
Love it.
Good
It's good.
Good start.
I get to lore dump. For this specifically, however, with a nat 20, you all watch the telltale signs of Zoe going into some kind of a memory. And you are going through these tableaus, slow moving. The watercolor has now become a little more primary, and the face is a little less blurry. As you are remembering more, things are coming to you much clearer now. And there's one scene in particular where you're remembering being in your room, learning a new spell, necrotic spell specifically. It's Chill Touch.
Okay.
And you're pacing in a circle trying to memorize this, get it right. And Vesper's lingering in the doorway.
Okay.
Not creepily, he's just watching.
Yeah.
And he
We
just
live
tends to do
together.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
He tends to do this. He
Real world.
is kind of like a little brother in some ways, where he just kind of shows up and he's like, hey, what you doing? You got games on your phone? Kind of a thing.
Wearing out that floorboard.
Uh-huh. When he's watching you, every time it moves to different tableaus. You're learning some magic, or you're just having dinner. And there are some images of him in combat stepping in front of you, making sure that you're safe. Because he is a fighter, he's a paladin, so he has a shield, and he's going to be your shield. And he does it with everyone else, but there's something very protective when he does it with you. And it's different from when he does it with Rivers, which is a little bit more romantic on his side. Not overtly, but there's something about you, so when he stands in front of you, it's preventative in a way you can't explain. It's not really almost like he's learning something from you. It's that he's just always around you.
Oh. Sorry.
It's all right.
Um,
We're used to it by now.
That was pretty wild, and then I explained what happened to the group. What do you think that is? I mean, I don't feel him now, although I don't feel a lot right now.
Like he was protective of you, especially you.
Yes, but it did feel different. He's very protective of you, of course. And he seemed as though he was protective of your heart. But he was just around a lot. Do you have memories of him around you?
Well, there's no time like the present to try and remember. Everyone's remembering things. It seems like everyone's thought tornadoes are going well.
I think you can do it.
You got some good ones.
He like tries to remember moments, any moments he can think of between him and Vesper.
Okay, roll me a wisdom save.
All right,
Come
do
on,
the
come on.
same thing for me. That's a 6.
That would have been awesome, though. Are there any advantages?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Aren't counted?
Stand by.
Yeah.
You have an advantage from Braba that was countered by Lincoln Brave.
Good old
Getting through the
Lincoln.
advantages now. The disadvantage. Lucyvian, tell me about the first time that you fell in love.
Ooh. I imagine the first time I fell in love was with someone who I think my family didn't approve of. I think that Lucyvian carried a lot of weight of the proper way to do things. He was supposed to be the noble one, and it wasn't quite, a Romeo and Juliet thing, but more so just, they wanted him to focus on, Casimir, like his calling, what he was going to do. And so because of that, they didn't want him to be stuck dreaming about romance, and was pushed kind of away and kind of kept away from opportunities to chase this person that he fell in love with. And he never quite got to know this person, and because of that, it hurts even more, because it's not something that, didn't go right or they grew apart. It's something he never got to experience and kind of never know how it would have been, because he was kept away from actually pursuing it.
Okay.
You're in a memory of being in your family's courtyard in Mekis, and you see the tower above you, and that's where your room is in the tower. You had to beg your parents for that because your brother wanted to live in the tower, but no, you got it because you were the youngest and you were kind of the favorite. And you're sitting in this courtyard. It's night. In the center, there's a fountain trickling. There are roses climbing the walls here, and it's perfectly in season. They're all in bloom. The smell is heavy and lovely, and it's very muggy and hot outside, and it smells like the ocean since you're right next to it. And you're expecting them here because young you is planning to run away with them. They do not show up. Not because they died. You get a letter from them later on saying, "I'm sorry I couldn't come. I hope someday you'll understand. I love you with my heart and my soul." And you see them maybe once or twice in the crowd, fleeting. But they end up moving away. You hear later on. And you never see them again after that. You come out of this memory still smelling the flower that you had grabbed off the wall and crushed in your fist.
Any luck?
No. Very bad one. Learned about a love that I was never able to pursue.
Oh.
And now it's coming to me why I don't have any other romantic memories. I think that was the moment I decided that, the work of science can never leave you waiting in the courtyard.
Oh, Luce.
Nope. I did not I did not tell that to you to get pity. I told to you to explain. I thought tornado and to focus on what we're trying to do. Maybe the love that you did experience will allow you to see something.
Maybe.
Yeah, did you ever feel like he was hiding something from you, or?
I mean, it's hard to know at this point. So Rivers will just try and remember.
Wisdom saving throw.
I'm scared.
Anger doesn't go away, right?
Oh no, that's so bad.
Oh no!
Are there any
Do I have an advantage?
All right.
That's
All
not
right. For
counted?
Rivers, you have a disadvantage from Lincoln Break.
Oh, okay, but and that was countered with that.
Okay. Just a disadvantage?
Just a disadvantage.
I thought I had 3 advantages last time.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You do have an advantage. I apologize. They were slightly off countered slightly. You have advantage from Brava that was countered by Lincoln Break, which is a common thing right now.
What are we at?
So yes, so it's just a counter. So it's a basic roll, straight roll.
12. Okay.
I've got a good wisdom save. I only rolled a 3 on the die. But I
You
have a +9 wisdom save. So.
Wow.
You all watch Rivers go rigid as well, the third person, in just a span of a couple minutes. And thankfully, because you have remembered so much, the DC for remembering is lower.
Yes.
Rivers.
Yes.
You remember Vesper hovering over you, but it's not creepy, it's not obnoxious, it's being kind of silly. You remember scenes of you walking through the woods on your way to a camp after gathering supplies for dinner, and Vesper following you and playing with your hair, or sticking leaves into your braids, making you a flower crown, which he says he learned from another girl that was at the orphanage with him. You remember this sense of something budding between you, and it may not necessarily have been romantic on your part. You can tell he is clearly developing feelings for you, but he's very purposefully not putting that on you. He's very purposefully not telling you. He doesn't want to make you uncomfortable, and it's pretty obvious. Even though the man is like in his mid-20s at this point, by the time you knew him, he's still shy, almost like this is a man that did not get to be a child and have that school kid crush, and now he finally has it. And he's being so careful not to put that on you. These are the memories that you have. It's nothing like you wake up in the middle of the night and he's watching you sleep.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that.
Cool.
It's all
Hey, bud.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what you doing over there?
How long have you been there?
All these memories that you have are just, they're very innocent and soft, and perhaps for that reason they hurt a little bit more.
Well, nothing came to my mind of him acting shady or hiding things from me in a way that I think we were trying to find. But I think he was maybe hiding his feelings from me. But nothing suspicious.
When you scrat on him, that sounded so awful. I guess let's not forget, as much as it feels like he might be the bad guy in all this, let's remember that what you saw, which was something pulled him back under.
And he's probably trapped there.
He might have done this to himself.
I just can't believe that he's bad.
He might not be.
Yeah,
He just
we
might be
don't
misguided.
we don't
do you
have
think
all
he
the
is?
evidence.
I don't know. I'm just worried. I'm worried that that kind of anger, it can be poison, right?
Yes, but it can also be controlled.
Productive.
It
It
can
could
be
be
Of
changed.
course,
Productive?
of course. I don't want to think these things. I'm
Yes.
just worried.
Yes.
I gotta voice it.
Well, should we head to
Denton.
Denton?
Yeah. Right. Is there anything else we need from our place before we leave? Because
So-
we're here in Sunfall.
So you begin to hear that whisper in
It's like,
the back
was
of
it
your...
a beeping sound?
There's a beeping sound from
Leaving down the
somewhere.
street.
You begin to hear that whisper again, and it's almost like it's right here, right behind you. And you know it's coming from the portrait. And it's tucked in your pocket.
Okay. And I'm just hearing whispering. I don't know what it's saying.
No, not yet.
Guys?
The portrait has shifted again.
Creepy.
This time you see the silhouette of Vesper a little bit at a distance.
Has he been slowly?
A little bit.
Oh no!
Slowly what?
Fading away from us.
No.
But like moving location
Uh-huh.
further, not like fading where he's...
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Not
like
Back
he's
to the
like he's
Future
moving
style,
away.
but
No.
like he's
Like he's
walking
moving
away.
away from you. You see an image of Vesper, and it's very stylized. And it's just this black cutout. He's slumped over a little bit, like energy has been drained from him, and his long hair is trailing down to the ground now. But you don't see legs. I need you all to make notes because we have 2 more levels of the Sands of Time being unlocked.
Let's go.
It took everything in me to not say he's in his Martha Graham. Like modern dance era.
Absolutely.
Like
fussy.
He's stylized, and it was like
Uh-huh.
the hair.
Surprise, we're playing chorus line today.
Martha Graham. Martha Graham.
God, I love that movie.
Birdcage reference. anybody?
Yeah. So I need at some point, probably when we're going to take the break, each of you have the chance to either increase one ability score by 1 or choose to take a feat.
Oh.
So during our break,
Sick.
we can do that.
Ooh.
And each undead creature has 10 temporary hit points that refresh after a long rest.
Nice.
Yay.
Like that.
Say that again.
10 temp HP.
10 temp HP. So this cannot be healed up,
Right.
but once you get a long rest, you get the 10 temp again.
Do we get it immediately?
After a
Or-
long rest, yeah.
Okay, so not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Right. Copy. Okay.
You all feel
Stronger.
stronger, a little better, a little different.
All right. Well, let's remind ourselves that we were told this city of Denton is now called the Weeping City. So it doesn't sound like it might have been a party at one point, but I don't know how much of a party it is now. Right?
That is very true. We have seen so many cities, towns
Yeah.
change.
None of them called this. Like,
How beat up is everybody? Do we need to get some rest back at the back of the home and then leave?
I definitely need.
Yeah. You were toe to toe.
Yes.
By the way, Zoe, if I haven't said it yet, you making that guy go dumb, let's just say it, was pretty
That was
intense.
incredible. Intense, yes.
And incredible.
I'd never used it before.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I know.
That's scary.
Like we learned a lot of things that
Yeah.
we can do.
You can fly and throw rocks.
I can fly. And magic rocks.
And that gargoyle was great.
Oh, you chompy.
I will say,
Bring him
out
back.
of character, they had 1 higher level spell slot, which is what they used to get banishment. So you also took care of 1 higher level spell slot that could have saved them from the enfeeblement.
Nice.
Well.
So you guys played
That
that
could have been real
so
nasty.
well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent a demon or a devil thing.
Dear to devil.
Yeah.
Just unleashed a devil on him.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, but
All right. Burn their resources.
yeah.
I think we all held our own, and it did feel as though we were moving as one unit.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We were a good
Without talking to one another. It was wild.
I think a long rest would be good, because I think I might need to find some spells that in my druid book that aren't area of effect.
Yes.
Because looking back on that memory, all I could do was throw rocks, basically.
Once you get in there amongst everybody, right, it gets hard.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I would like to study a little bit. And then
How late is it outside? Because there was the implication that last night when we stayed here that we saw some, or I think it was Luce, saw some shuffling undead at night here. Okay.
It's,
and we did see some on the way up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you did. It's about 9:30ish.
Okay.
Late enough to be dark.
Go to bed early, wake up early. As well as we can go to bed.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing shelf stable in our house, and I know we're not hungry. But I don't know. I was feeling like I was feeling like
shelf stable.
Do you want
What's
some good
that?
berries?
sorry, like like something that would keep, like a
pickles?
preserve.
Like an expiration date, yeah.
I thought you were worried the Earth was created.
Oh no!
like the
No, like
planets
tectonic
would,
shelves.
The planet would move.
No.
I was like, oh no, our shelves are crumbling.
I thought the same thing. I was like, did I have big
Do you want some good berries?
Okay.
It won't do much generally, but
I was just thinking that the I don't know, making y'all dinner would feel nice.
I think we should do it.
good berry pie.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That sounds wonderful.
I might have something else, but I'm not sure.
I think I have a good recipe, if you'd like it.
I have a skill,
I
I have a spell called Plant Growth
Oh.
that I can. And now normally it's just weeds and such. I don't know, but or I mean, it just really makes everything kind of grow more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like across the road out in front of our house, I would go over and try to like stand in like the long grass or the field or something, or if there's
You are in the middle of a town that's like cobblestone streets, very
okay.
like York in England.
Ooh, okay.
Kind of wobbly buildings, everything's close together.
That makes sense.
You can dig up the cobblestones and then you'd have some dirt
Right.
to grow something.
Yeah, the plants sort of have to be there already. The spell channels vitality into plants within a specific area. All normal plants become thick and overgrown.
There are some here in the temple. It's a little overgrown. There's a lot of ivy. There's grass. There's some wild berry bushes. You're not sure what kind, but
All right.
little white flowers on the ground.
In the temple,
Yeah.
does there happen to be a gem-encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold pieces?
That question.
Make me a
I'm in the market for a gem-crusted bowl.
worth 1,000 coins.
No,
998. Sorry.
Make me a perception check.
Okay. Hold on. My skills. 22.
Nice.
You haven't checked upstairs.
Simon, I'm gonna go upstairs and look for some
Yeah.
things.
Great. Careful. This place feels like it's gonna crumble.
Yeah. Don't worry, I can fly forward.
Good.
And we're at the temple site still.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zoe is going to cast creation,
Ooh.
and I'm going to take the bits of dust and dirt and any plant matter that I can find, and I'm sort of vaguely reconstructing what I think Vesper looks like.
Okay. How tall? Life size?
I think it's 5 feet. 5 foot cube. He's a cube. No, I'm just
He's a
kidding.
cube. What a beautiful cube!
He's such a square.
It has to fit in a 5 foot cube.
It has
so
to
I
fit in a
mean-
5 foot cube, so
but-
it can be
Great.
a life-size facsimile
Yeah.
of him.
A life-size
Yeah.
facsimile. Which is a little
Doesn't look
creepy.
It's a little
But
creepy,
also-
but
But also, I think maybe if this sounds so
It's like your
strange-
version of painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll remember something. Maybe we'll all
Love it.
remember something.
Okay. Make me. Oh gosh, what would this be? I will let you choose either a performance check or a sleight of hand check. Sleight of hand for fast fingers to create something, or performance to see how well creatively you do.
Oh boy. 3.
Ooh.
That's some sleight of hand.
Could I help her by pointing out things?
Sure, make me the same. Either performance or a sleight of hand.
Did I have? There were no advantages or disadvantages. I'm just trying to eat those ones up.
I know. Now the good news is that we're almost done with the Lincoln Break disadvantage.
Don't say that, he'll do more.
I will tell you that. Okay. Performance or sleight of hand?
Yeah.
With...
Come on, Bard.
I know, right?
Let's go.
9. Better.
We're tired. We're tired.
I know, I'm so sorry.
You are tired. Together, you're making this dirt snowman of Vesper. And
Dirt man.
Wow. It's God. I went back to college for a second. It's human shaped. It is vaguely the size that you think he would have been. Tall, slender, broad shoulders.
Long hair.
Long hair. You don't really get anything from this facsimile that you've created, except for an added sense of this person should be here, instead of this golem I've created in their place. It should be a physical flesh and blood person, and there's a part of you that just wants to reach out and touch his shoulders, but you can't.
You're right.
Yeah, what's up?
No.
Oh, I thought you...
Yeah, no, just listening.
Does that feel better?
It's strange, It's strange to look at something like this and feel as though you know it. You know him. But it's still so fuzzy, and I feel so sad.
I'm gonna go back up to my room.
Are you leaving the temple?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought we went back
No,
together.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Coming to you.
leave the temple.
Okay.
Go back into my room,
Mhm.
and kind of cut away from everyone and start going through that cipher again and looking through those notes and
Okay.
trying to get some answers.
Make me an investigation check, this time an advantage. And
Okay.
we will come back to you in just a second. Cutting over to Rivers, going up to the second floor. The bottom floor is made of stone. The floor itself is made of wood, and a lot of it has rotten away. Thankfully, you can fly, so if you step on one of the boards that cracks under your feet, you're fine. You find a couple of rooms up here that would have been much larger and more opulent at another time, in another year. Now they're all ruined. You find what you think would have been Orfeo's room, because it's a large circular room. There's a large bed in the center, and above what would have been some kind of dome, now ruined. There's holes all over it. There's bats hanging from the top. There's a couple of vines that have started to grow in, some ivy that's begun to climb down the walls and into the room. There are wardrobes that are broken, shattered from time, and some looters perhaps. You don't see anything in particular that looks like a bowl. What you do find in rummaging through his things is a couple portraits of himself and a couple portraits of family members that are very old. Even for the time when he would have had them, they would have been much older. It looks like he has a collection of paintings done of his family lineage. And it looks like he came from druids that at one point had been part of your enclave and had separated to move to the other side of the island and begin to cultivate there. You do find in his belongings so much as dust and decay. You find a pearl.
Okay.
It's just a pearl. Like when you touch it, nothing crazy happens. It doesn't explode or whatever. It's just a pearl. But you do know this can be used in some spells. It can be helpful. It can be sold. It's just an ingredient piece.
Put it in my pouch. Take some dirt. Draw some mustaches on his portraits.
Excellent.
Just on the ones of him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do a little vandalism of his face.
I love it.
It's fine. He
I
deserves
love
it.
this.
Little vandalism.
Love this for you.
Yes.
Back in your home, what did we roll for?
11.
Good luck to you.
For 2 nat 20s and then
Sorry, we
peace
took all the energy.
it's hard. You are very tired after this battle that you've been through. And you do feel, even though it was sub 400 something years ago, being in it emotionally has taken a vast physical toll on your body still. It's hard for you to glean anything more right now. You can try again in the morning, but you will need a long rest to clear whatever cobwebs are in your brain right now because of the things you've been going through.
Yeah. Okay. I think I want to go in Vesper's room and start searching. Now, kind of knowing what I was gleaning on and something he was near, and now I'm just trying to search for, like, I'm checking for false drawers and just anything he might have had that might be left behind that can give me insight onto where his head was at.
What you been hiding, boy?
What's your...
What you been hiding, Vesper?
You're going through his belongings, and it looks like this is a house that no one has touched in a very long time. There's a thick layer of dust on everything. Spiders have taken up home under his bed. You go to his drawers. You've opened every single book. Anything with pages that you've seen in this room, you've opened it up, hoping maybe the thing has been left here. It hasn't. You go through drawers on a last hope, pulling out clothes. He didn't really have a lot. There's a stuffed animal in one of them. It's a bear that's missing an ear, and it looks like the eyes have been repaired many, many times. On the last drawer, can you make me an investigation check?
All right, we're switching die. Let's go.
Oof. Table's gone cold.
Yes, that's a 6. You're in jail too?
In the last drawer, you're going through what looks like a sock and underwear drawer, and there's a pair of very nice flat shoes in the corner that looks like maybe he finally got enough money to buy something nice for himself, but he never got to wear it. As you're pulling things out, you notice a note on the bottom, and you pick it up and it says, "Now what are you doing in my drawers?" And that's it.
And I'd pack everything back away and go to my bedroom and stare at the ceiling.
Okay.
I think waiting for you to come back down from the upstairs.
Have you guys gone back to your house
I think
yet?
just the last thing before we leave the temple, unless there's something else anyone wants to do, I will cast plant growth standing in the middle of this temple.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully in some kind of way this temple was built as an affront to Mekis, to the god that I worship. And I think there's a kind of a natural balance to letting the plants take it over.
Yeah.
Even though it was, supposedly in service of these druids who seem to not exactly have the right reasons at heart. So basically, within a 100-foot radius, every plant, all normal plants become thick and overgrown, so it becomes harder to walk through it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, everything that you described, whether it's like the moss on the walls or the white flowers or everything like that, I just sit there and concentrate and I'll just do the instantaneous version, because there's an 8-hour version, which I'm not going to do.
Okay.
I'll just let it take over.
You hear this rumbling that you almost expect because the earth is kind of moving underneath you with this magical nutrients, and the flowers are growing much larger than their tiny little bodies are used to, and the grass is growing much taller. The vines are beginning to spread everywhere. It's a wall of ivy at this point, and as you are doing this, you can't help but reflect on the nature of Mechas as a deity. And these druids had the fear, and it was all bred out of fear, because most things are. They had the fear that this god of progress, specifically what they viewed as technological progress, would go against nature and would harm nature. And it's an understandable fear because there is some technology that does do that. Cutting down swaths of trees, burning things in their wake. However, when you are thinking of Mechas as you are overgrowing this temple with nature, you feel a sense of peace. And it feels distant, but somehow here with you. Very weak, very faint. And you reflect on the idea that Mechas is a god of progress. And the cycle of life is a cycle of progress. The cycle of death is a cycle of progress. Even though these druids feared that Mechas and nature were incompatible, in fact, they are very similar.
Yeah, that's better. And on our way up, these greens will be good in the salad. And some berries, and yeah, these are edible. Those are good. Oh, some mushrooms. Yeah.
Have you come back down from the room? Have you joined us?
Stuck upstairs.
Yeah.
I would have waited. Yeah.
I'll come down and I'll hand Simon a handful of good berries.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, this will be good. I'll make all this work into something.
Well, we can't just leave him here.
Leave who? Oh.
Vesper.
Oh.
Oddly enough, the plant growth hasn't touched him because he's just like clumps of dirt
Right.
and plant matter.
Would it be strange if I used to teleport to bring us back to the house?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, sorry. I was like, is this one of those things that... No, okay.
I mean, maybe, but...
Okay, so I just kind of... I go to Vesper and I just sort of like wrap my arms around him. And then I think you guys kind of are nearby, right?
Yeah.
And then I teleport us into
She's going through something.
actually his room.
Uh-huh.
To Vesper's room.
Okay.
Are you in there?
At this point, you would be in your room.
Oh, your own room.
What I was gonna say
Uh-huh.
is, in a flash of insight, and maybe this happens at the same time. He
Cut to.
But Lucyvian kind of starts up in his bed and runs into Vesper's room and casts Detect Magic.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic. There is a spell coming off of the new shoes, but the spell is like a glamour spell. So you get the sense that, if you were to wear these, you would have almost like an Instagram filter over you to make you look a little nicer.
It fades away everything behind your head just a
little blur. There's a nice
portrait
filter
mode.
on you. Okay.
Your ankles look so good.
However, you don't really... You sense some weak magic from some things, but it's like armor, and it's all stuff that's like decayed over time.
Okay. Then, I think at that point he tried everything.
Big burst of magic.
One explosion. Well, then you do actually feel a large burst of magic because all of a sudden the rest of your party is in the room with this dirt man.
Hey, we're back.
What are you doing in here?
I
Nice shoes.
was looking for information, though. That's Vesper's shoes. What is this dirt situation?
I just thought it would be helpful for us to remember something about him.
She tried to make Vesper out of plant.
I just don't because our memories are not intact. I just thought if I could physically see something in front of me, that at least if we forgot about Vesper altogether, that we would see this dirt man. And
it makes as much sense as any thought tornado. I'm not questioning it.
Thank you. I'm quite tired, but I don't know. I think he's I think he's quite beautiful.
And the face of this dirt man, is it replicating his face?
Not quite. It's a little almost mask-like.
Okay, but like it's pretty much like the shape.
The vague shape, yeah.
I'm still working on the cheekbones. I'm not quite sure. High, low. High, low.
It's like a Baldur's Gate 3 character.
Just wiggling it all around. Yeah.
Slider.
Yeah. The Dragon Inquisition slider that's like forehead.
Long,
Eyebrows up, eyebrows down.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh no! I feel like Lucyvian kind of sees this kind of face and kind of nods and looks to you and kind of I imagine like he is going through his like tools and materials and kind of like grabbing like the hardening agents and things that he's used to craft. He's built the steel defender and other types of works like this, and kind of like pours it and kind of tries to do his best to like mold it based on the memories he has. And then
Ify, you don't have a lot of the metal you would need to do this. What I will say you can do if you want is take pieces from your metal defender and recreate him in Vesper's image.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
I mean, we're on the same. That's essentially what I was trying to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I basically recreate Vesper using the metal defender, and
Excellent.
I'm
I
so
love
sorry.
this.
in the
I love this.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Basically using the pieces of metal and what you've made to make the steel defender look like Vesper, and then I take those glamour shoes and try and fit it on the metal.
All this is happening. I'm cooking downstairs, and I'm just like checking in on you guys every now and like I'll come back up in an apron with flour. Oh my god.
It's like a streak of flour on your cheek. And you did find some flour and some sugar in the stores. There's like ants in it, but also you're undead, so like extra protein, I guess.
This'll work.
Yeah. This will take you quite a bit of time because it takes you quite a bit of time to build your steel defender. But you can all clearly see what he's doing. How long does it take? 8 hours?
I think so.
Yeah. If you want, you can.
Yeah, I think that'll be the project for the night, but also,
Okay. Lucyvian, you spend all night doing this. You faithfully recreate him. I'll say getting enough sleep in between to have a long rest, because I am a nice DM and I like this storyline. In the morning, you've had this lovely dinner that Simon cooked for you. I'm going to say you probably also created a bit of a breakfast.
Yeah.
It tasted like nothing, and it just sits in your stomach.
It's really a texture thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
there
like
is something
crunch and...
so lovely about the ritual of eating with the people that you love, and eating something you can imagine in your head that you would have loved the taste of when you were alive. Lucyvian, you go back and forth between your bed, sleeping when you know you need to, and waking to go and finish this project. And when you all wake up in the morning, standing in Vesper's room is this steel defender in Vesper's image, wearing his armor. And when you put the shoes on, this wave of an image begins to slowly paint itself from the bottom up, and eventually standing before you in clear detail is a young man in his mid-20s. He is 6'5", very slender but strongly built. He's wearing armor, he's got a shield. He's tan, he has a long pointed nose, high cheekbones, long lashes, very long black hair that's very beautifully maintained. And a just blank expression. There's something a little uncanny valley about his eyes. You can tell this is not human, but there's something about it. It's like this sigh of relief in the room that even though it feels a little wrong, like a bad AI image, it is still Vesper.
Wow.
You did it.
Through science and magic, all things are possible.
His hair's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
I will
beautiful.
say there is some like light reading and stuff that I tried to do, and this is before I am trying again that investigation. But I'm
Secrets! Okay.
yeah, so just looking into that.
Okay, for this specifically, can you pass that back? Make me...
I'd cast some guidance on you for sure.
Make me another investigation check. I'm going to give you advantage because you are kind of going manic
Yeah.
in the early morning hours, and you're pushing yourself very hard. I'm going to let you do advantage on this.
That is a nat 20.
Yeah, bring that lustrous out of the
Yes.
Lucyvian!
There it is. Now we're back.
Ooh!
Rachel's so excited.
I love this. We're on the same page. You decode it a little bit further. You are going to need a pretty hefty shard of obsidian. Thankfully, you have one that has not shattered. You are going to need to find the person that you want to do this with. You're going to need to shove this shard of obsidian into their core. Pierce their heart. The soul will fill the obsidian. And then you can put it in.
Okay.
You can put it in the Steel Defender.
Okay.
So you know how to do this. It's hard. You're gonna have to be very precise when you stab this.
Do we know this is happening?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's fine.
You did so well. I think he's just stunning.
Oh yeah, it took a lot of work, but honestly, I got to give you credit. Didn't have the idea until you showed it to me.
Much better than a dirt mound.
Much better.
So you can all say that you've taken a long rest.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Get your HP back. Get all good.
Yeah.
Our temp HP too, right?
Yes.
You now have your You have 10 points of temp HP.
Oh, and we can do our
Right.
Our dance. We're gonna dance.
We can do our skill or a feat.
Oh, our
You
feet.
can right now if you want. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
wait
wait
till
too. I think that's
because
gonna take me
that's
a
true.
minute.
I'm gonna
That's
look at it.
true.
I'm gonna look at feats. I do love
Yeah.
good feat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, the image flickers a little bit, and you can see the beautiful detail that Lucyvian put into it. The face itself is this metal cage, almost like a Faraday cage. There's a little bit of electricity in what would be the hair, and there are these beautiful swirls that make up the cheeks. It's like those images you see where someone draws a face with one line. It's very beautifully done.
I was gonna say, I think Simon catches himself staring at it
Yeah.
a few times and then it's like,
It's uncanny. It's not quite, but it's close.
yeah.
It's almost Vesper.
Yeah.
Hello. Does he talk?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's just still the limitations of a steel defender, but
Perhaps he was quiet in real life, so perhaps.
No.
No.
I
We like to joke.
think we all know that he was not one to shy away from being the center of attention.
yeah.
He's the center of our attention right now.
Oh, definitely.
Shall we have some breakfast?
Yeah, yeah.
Simon, what did you make for breakfast?
Well, I probably continue if I'm in the baking mood using good berries. I probably made small good berry hand pies,
Oh yeah.
and just and so we'll work with that and some sort of foraged salad. It's breakfast, but whatever.
Yeah,
Some nuts and
absolutely.
acorns in there for texture because we can't taste that much.
I love that.
Yeah.
You all sit down to this breakfast. There's a moment where you can almost forget what's happened because all 5 of you are sitting at the table and you're eating together. You can almost forget that you are all undead.
Simon, this does smell amazing.
Good. Yeah, it felt good. Felt right to do it.
I feel as though I can taste it. I don't quite remember what food tastes like, but I feel like I can taste it.
A little, if you inhale at the same time when it's really close.
Yeah. Smell and taste are very connected. Why can we smell? Do we ever? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, hopefully, Denton was a town known for festivals. I mean, maybe we'll be able to find more interesting foodstuffs.
Yeah.
And I hope that the Weeping City is not... I hope we don't encounter that.
Maybe they're having better days.
Maybe.
Shall we pack up and
Yeah.
get a move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
I'm packing up.
Bucephalus is waiting outside. And actually, at this point, you can put your steel defender in the carriage with you because it's not a tall creature.
Right.
You've created something that is Vesper's size, so it's just a 6'5" dude made of metal.
This is still pretty tall.
He's still pretty tall, but
Yeah.
he can fit in the carriage with you.
And through doorways.
And through doorways.
Well, some.
Yeah.
We know that Vesper's last name starts with an M.
Yeah, you do.
Any other? If I looked around the house, is there a possibility of finding maybe if there was an M anywhere that could have figured out what his last name was?
For free, because you guys are beginning to remember more.
Yeah.
You won't have to roll for this. You remember about Vesper that he did not like his family. He very purposefully distanced himself from his family to the point that he did not use his last name. He was just Vesper. And part of it may have been because he was abandoned.
I was going to say, did we get the sense that he was left?
He
at
was
an
left,
orphanage? Oh,
yeah.
man.
Part of it may also be you have a memory of him when he was older, going out and trying to find more information about his family, and when he came back, he did not talk about it at all.
All right, are we trotting on?
Yeah.
Okay.
You tell Bucephalus to go to Denton, and Bucephalus seems to know right away exactly where to go. Because you have been to Denton before. It takes you the better part of 2.5 days to get there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Thankfully, in that time, nothing of note happens. You are able to take a rest. You are not accosted by any undead. You do at one point, when you have built a little camp for yourselves, you're taking watch. You do see at one point in the distance, there's this herd of undead. They're crossing a hilltop, and it looks like there's one particularly tall one, perhaps a revenant, with them, guiding them. But it's a more powerful undead, and it's usually like a commander of some kind that tells them where to go.
Okay.
And they usually have a little bit more of their faculties. Just a little.
Ick.
But they do not come near you. They are wandering away, thankfully. By the time you get to Denton, it is about 3 p.m. There's very little light because a very heavy mist has fallen. You just come out of a forest, and the city in front of you was brightly colored. There's very faded paint, but you can tell these buildings were whitewashed, but all the doors and windows and intricate decorations on the outside were bright primary colors. There's a red door, blue shutters, an aqua trim along the edge. And you hear it before you see it. You hear the sounds of multiple people crying softly.
Oh, I was really hoping the Weeping City was going to be metaphorical.
Yeah.
And before you can even tell Bucephalus to stop and gather yourselves, you can see into the town square. This is a place that had a massive maypole. It was a center for festivals.
Yeah.
This was another druid / cleric place. They were known for throwing their parties, but in the center of this city is a creature. Or I should say many creatures that have become one.
Oh no, it's a GoBot.
There's a pile of beings that look like they have all been stitched together.
Oh no.
None of them have eyes.
Yuck.
They are all crying softly to themselves and talking to each other.
What are they crying out of? I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. And it's not in a shape, it's just sort of in a...
It's just kind of a pile of people.
Oh boy.
I don't like it.
No, I don't
And that's
think you're
the only
supposed
thing
to.
we see, huh?
Just in the buildings and the...
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try and approach it.
Yeah, be careful though. That looks like a very clear warning.
I'll be right behind you. Well, not right. I'll be behind you. a reasonable distance behind you.
Is it right behind you?
Hello. Excuse us. Can you hear us?
This creatures seem to have been kind of wandering aimlessly through the town, and when they hear you, the bodies move.
Oh, it moves.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the sense it was a pile in the middle
No,
of it.
this is like
No, it's
25
walking around.
people that have stitched themselves together. They all turn towards you, looking with their sightless eyes, and in many voices at the same time they say, "Hello."
Hello. You seem to be distressed.
That's me laughing.
We are distressed. Who are you? What do you need with the city?
Well, we're traveling adventurers looking for answers, but I don't know if this is just habit, old habits dying hard. Is there anything we can do to help you?
They all kind of let out these varying levels of wails and weeps, and they say, "Help us." No. You cannot help the weeping city.
What happened here?
Are they undead? Yeah, okay, I figured, but...
The wave killed so many of us. We wanted to stay together,
Oh my goodness.
so we stay together.
Oh,
We are the city of Denton. They mock us and call us the weeping city.
Pardon my, I guess, rudeness, but, how is that mocking? You were actively weeping.
We do not need a nickname. Not after what we have been through.
Fair enough.
What would you prefer to be called?
Denton, the city.
Okay.
We are what's left of the city.
We are,
At this point, though, wow.
I have no idea.
we are a party known as, or we're known as one time as the Five Echoes.
Ah, we knew you.
Okay, great.
You came for our festivals.
Yes.
You bought our bread, and you broke it with us. You drank our wine, and we were happy to have you. You've done many great things in this land, and we called you friend at one point. Here, and many hands reach out to you, and cradled in these many hands is a shard of obsidian.
Oh.
You left this with us. You said you may be back.
We did?
What do you mean we left? What do you mean we left it with?
We don't know what you mean. You left it with us.
Before the wave?
Yes.
Okay.
Right before.
Look, we don't have our memories, so if you can remember anything about you receiving that from us, what we might have said, what we might have done.
You were just 4, and you...
The 4 of us. Not 5.
Cannot see you. I don't know if there are 4 or 5.
Okay, first up,
You had eyes at the time?
Yes.
Was there a tall, long-haired young man?
Vesper.
He was with us.
Not when you gave us this.
Okay.
Right, okay.
You said that we were friends once.
Yes.
Did something happen where we fell out of...
No, it's just...
We just fell out of touch.
It's just been 400 years that we have been alone here. No parties have been held here in so long.
Okay,
I understand.
well,
And Zoe takes the...
Yeah, careful
It's
when you're going to touch it.
obsidian.
Okay.
Okay, when you touch the obsidian.
Yeah? What?
You know what's going to happen.
Happen. Yeah, that's why we're going to ask as many.
Literally, hold on. Well, no, I mean...
No, it's touched.
We're going in.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
As you touch the obsidian,
Oh, no.
No.
there is
It was going to have to happen.
a sudden
Right on in.
explosion of sound. Immediate laughter and joy and instruments being played by very drunk bands. Welcome to the Festival of Light and Sound. This is something that happens every year in Denton, and it draws people from all over the lands. This is a little of Burning Man, a little of the Ren Fair. This is everyone coming from all corners to have the best time. At the Festival of Light and Sound, there are many games that you can play. You see Denton now alive as it once was. It's nightfall, but the city is lit up by these beautiful blue and green and orange lanterns. There's streamers everywhere. It's decorated to the nines. This is the event of the year for Denton. This is kind of what they live for. All of these shops are open along the streets. There are bakeries, pasta shops, restaurants, cafes, everything open for you. And further out, you can see in the open fields outside of the city, they have set up the rest of the festival. There are tents everywhere. Carnival games to be played, shops to go through, peruse, crafting areas, massive dance floors with hundreds of people on them, and music everywhere. There's almost an excess of sound, of color, of light. This is really a festival for the living, to enjoy living in every sense. And you are right in the middle of it. You know one thing. You are here to have a good time, and that you should probably go talk to Abe, who invited you here.
Okay.
Do any of you think you would have gone to this festival before?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Probably not.
No?
Rather than that Lucyvian scene.
Simon, you might be the only one that's come here before.
I mean, yeah, you know, maybe not partake as much as some, but definitely like someone who likes playing some music, that, you know, and who likes pressing the flesh, so to speak, and
Yeah.
kind of getting to know people.
It's
yeah.
very popular for bards.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge place for bards. There's people busking.
So
in every
I
area.
would have just been showing people around, just going like, all right, that place has some of the best fettuccine. That's fantastic. This place over here, you got to see. They make these very cool like light shows or whatever. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're walking by a place that is a little black box theater. There's a play going on right now. And you know, like a couple of years ago, they had a matinee and they were showing a play that someone had written about what you did to stop Orfeo.
That's the one. They did the Sunfall story.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
It was like two-ish years ago, because
It
it's
was
been
2
3 years since Orfeo.
He was pretty good. The guy that got to play Orfeo was great.
Oh my goodness.
The guy that got to play Lucyvian, I'll be honest, could have been better.
Can't do
I mean, you're hard to capture.
Vesper comes up at this point, and he's not wearing his armor. No one's like armed here. This is not a place for combat. This is a place for enjoyment.
Right.
He is wearing a plain green tunic, plain brown pants, and a very nice pair of shoes. And in his arms, he has these twists of dough that have been fried, and they're covered with cinnamon and brown sugar. And he has one for each of you, and he says, "This is amazing. You have to try it. I bought one for each of us."
Is it like a churro?
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but it's something like that. They're pretty like hefty twists, and he hands one to each of you.
Right.
Stuff right there.
So it's definitely untwisting it first.
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on.
It's
Everyone's got a
delicious.
new way.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Rivers
got
bites into it sideways.
Yeah.
like a corn on the cob.
He's doing the thing where he'll like take chunks of it, like strips, and eat it.
Lucy, you all right? You look bothered.
You not like it?
No, it's great. It's very great. It's very great. And you know, I will say, y'all might notice like Luce keeps looking at his hand, and it was like everything's good. It's good.
All right. Well, we got a lot to do. I mean, Abe's probably around here somewhere, but I mean, we can take our time.
I hope that Abe lives in a place that's quiet.
Yeah.
Oh no! I asked when I was getting some pastries. Ave's in the center of the dance floor.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
if you were looking for a quiet night's sleep, I think you might want to go somewhere else.
It's just that this is
It's time for a festival!
very overwhelming.
It
It's
is
so
a
beautiful.
lot.
They do have
and it's
cool
a
down
lot.
rooms if you need them.
Oh my goodness, I'm heading there right now.
I
It's
don't
off.
remember the
There's
last
a crafting area to the right outside when you go outside the city, and they have some cabins and they're quiet.
Maybe they have some.
Well, they're padded so the sound doesn't
Oh,
come in.
I
That's
love
why
a
they're
padded
cool down
room.
Yeah, me too. Wait,
Wait,
are you going to them?
you all right,
I
Zoe?
didn't know if
I
you were
can-
Rachel right then.
Neither did she.
I was a little bit emotional.
Following the characters
Just that line starts to blur.
Where am I? Where do I begin?
All right,
And he ends.
so are you okay to go speak and
Yeah,
chat to
are you gonna be
Abe?
all right?
But please,
We
I
can
just
also wait for you if
need,
you want to go cool
I think I
down.
need a moment.
Yeah, take your time. It's a lot.
He kind of pulls you aside and he's like, "I got an extra one if you want to take it for your cool room."
Oh my goodness.
It's just like
Thank you
it's a fat twist.
Thank you so much. I need to do some emotional carb eating.
Oh, me too. It's fine.
Okay, wonderful.
The carbs don't count here.
Oh, I love
Definitely.
it. I love it.
If you
Right.
run by a hot cocoa stand, definitely check it out. I had a mint one earlier. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
It was
Cocoa.
delicious.
All right, I'm on it.
Go out that way to the right. They're the cabins that are off, kind of away from everything else.
Guess we're splitting the party.
Okay, go on.
Oh no!
All right. So
Don't feeble mind
Four.
anybody.
Oh, please don't.
Unless you have to.
Unless you have
Unless
to.
I have to. Unless
The
they're
four
asking.
of you, Vesper directs you into the crowd, and there's lights flashing. There's the heavy beat of amplified drums, magically amplified
I'm
drums.
like recognizing people.
Oh,
every few
absolutely,
steps.
and people are stopping you.
To see you. How are you?
We have a friend like this. You're like the friend of everyone
Yeah, yeah,
here,
yeah.
so it takes you like 2 hours to get to the center of this group of
I'll
people.
talk to you later, buddy.
People are in varying states of consciousness.
Sure.
A lot of people are drinking.
Sure.
Some are doing some other things that we're not going to talk about because this is a family show. Partaking in the magical herb. Vesper directs you to the center of this throng of people who are all sweating and dancing and having a phenomenal time. And there's this person in a linen robe and slippers who is sort of levitating a little bit over the ground. He's a human, like a very excessively plain-looking everyman human, regular old white guy, beard, like gingery, strawberry blonde beard, hair parted down the middle, long. He's got it braided in 2 braids down the back, and it has flowers and leaves woven into it. And he's just in this like closed eyes, meditative state while this mass of people is just going insane around him. And he, every once in a while, does a little dance, just like a very muted, soft, chilled dance. Lucyvian, as you're walking through the crowd, Vesper kind of maneuvers his way next to you because he rolled pretty well on his perception check. Mm-hmm. And he nudges your shoulder and he says, "What are you keeping from me?"
No. So now it's time to ask you a question. So we've talked about since the last fight that we kind of transport into these, memories kind of as our person. So in this memory, are we, is it the same thing where we're kind of ourselves just kind of transported into this memory?
A little bit.
Okay.
You are living through the memory as if you are in yourself, like you are a mech. Okay. And you're watching this movie in first person. You don't have the hang-ups that you would have in the current time. You wouldn't be sitting there being like, Vesper, you've done something bad.
Well, the question is less about that part and more about like, on my person, if I look down, am I looking down and seeing what I once wore, or am I looking down and seeing what we're wearing at the time?
You are looking down at what you once wore because in this specific scenario, it's not combat. You are just in what's your just casual wear look like actually?
I imagine it would just be like, just kind of like a button up. What are the like
cravat?
Ascot or a cravat?
A kind of ascot. Kind of
Seinfeld
like
pirate shirt.
Yeah, basically like a pirate shirt with some like loose flowing slacks. Just kind of just like a light nobles kind of, but not refreshed because he's not trying to live that life. So it's just like kind of
gauche,
old,
not up to date.
Yes, exactly. But based on that information that you just gave me right now, he looks back at his hand and doesn't see anything. And goes, I'm not sure. Because what happened was in his room that night, he wrote on his hand, break from the memory, so that he can attempt to break free because he keeps feeling because he keeps feeling like he's hitting we keep hitting a wall, and he's been trying to think, and thinking back at the battle, he was like, well, we had all of our stuff, then maybe I can leave a message. But since we've changed, he sees nothing, and now he is less in this like meta version, and now has fallen back into the memory. And
Lucyvian, you do feel like your hand is tingling a little bit, and you're not sure why. You feel like your brain tried to go somewhere to remember something, but you were redirected. Like when you woke up from a dream and you're trying so hard to remember the dream, but you can't, and you really want to remember it because it was a good dream, but it's just right outside of your grasp.
Okay, my next question is, timeline-wise, is this post or pre-cipher still? Like, how deep into
You are pretty deep into the cipher at this point. It's not complete, but you're pretty...
And at this point, I've shared it with...
That's up to you.
Yeah. So he kind of, it's slipped my mind. I've been deep into that study that I've been sharing with you all once again, just between us.
I found a book. I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to tell you. I found this book in one of the libraries in the town we were just in. It's a small little book, but I have it somewhere, back in our hotel. I can give it to you. It's about the transference of souls and the nature of souls as a magical property.
Yes. Yes. I guess I just, since we've been making so much progress, it's just been swirling in my brain, but you're right. We need to relax.
Yeah.
We need to have a good time. Yeah. I need to eat your treats.
It's really good. Also, I plan to play a couple games tonight because I want to win something.
Well, let's play them together.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Rivers, I've grabbed your hand and I'm dancing with you. If you're down with it. Yeah. At
this point, you
trying
guys
to join the dance as best we can.
You reach where Abe is, just kind of floating and grooving in the center of this group of people.
It doesn't look like we'll be disturbing him, or
no, he's kind of just
right.
chilling, having a good time there.
Abe!
Simon,
what's up, man? We made it.
Hey, dude.
Hey, you're looking good.
Thanks. I'm having a great time.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You look it. I mean, you're taller than normal because you're floating off the ground.
What can I say? I needed to be in the air a little bit. Feel the air around me. Can you feel it?
Yeah. I can feel it.
Have you tried the Denton mead?
No.
It's my special brew.
Oh, fantastic!
You want to try some?
I would love to.
He pulls from this hidden pocket in his robe this brown jar, and he pulls the cork off, and it's like tied on. He hands it to you.
Fantasy moonshine.
And then he says, "Take a whiff, my guy."
Whoa!
It smells almost a little bit like peach.
Oh,
It's a deep, rich mead. With some heavy clove and peach on top.
How'd you get that? Like extra fruity in the honey? Is that it got a fermented?
What I've been brewing at home.
Oh man!
From my garden.
You're a master.
I try.
Rivers takes off of her belt like this little wooden goblet, and she just pours like the tiniest amount in. She's like, it smells so good.
Be careful, that stuff will give you a kick.
I'll take a
right
sip.
into the future, man.
Well, when in Denton do as the Dentonians do, they say.
Yep.
And I take a sip.
Lucyvian, do you want any?
Yeah,
he prefers it to.
Yeah. All right.
Take it easy.
Have some of this tincture or beverage.
Bottoms up, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good dose. Y'all having fun? You having a good time tonight?
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you are all here. You guys are my best friends.
Oh, wow.
I love seeing you at these. Oh man, and I know it's your first time, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're gonna have such a good time. Everyone here is so nice. You don't have to pay for anything. You just barter here, okay?
All right.
All right. If you need anything, you let me know.
Thanks, man. All right.
It's just floating above
You
the
just
crowd.
keep floating.
So,
Huh?
during this entire time, you've been in this cabin off to the side, and it is blissfully quiet in here. There's a little family
There's
of
a cricket.
Yeah, there's a nice cricket that has
in the
made
studio.
it's made its way into the cabin. And when you sit in the cabin, there's a window so you can see out into the dance floor, which is a couple feet away from you, but you don't hear anything except for that cricket that escaped into the cabin with you. And this little family of halflings that's in the corner, kind of talking amongst themselves. The daughter is wearing this big fake flower crown, and she's munching on one of the treats, and the two parents are passing a cup of hot cocoa in between the two of them.
Okay.
And they kind of look at you and they nod, but they leave you alone for the most part. What are you doing in the cabin?
Trying to quiet my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly having a little conversation with the cricket.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really answer back.
No. At this point, as a magic user, what's something that you're focusing on that you've been learning? What's kind of the goal? Do you want to do more abjuration spells? Do you want to learn something specific?
Well, I've been working on a hallucination spell where when I am in a place of discomfort, I can turn a whole area into a beautiful meadow with a lake and anything that I want. And it just calms me down. And a place for friends to also partake. They could see it as well. So yeah, I've been working on that, sort of building that out. And yeah, I think it scares Zoe a little bit because it is such a spell that can create such vast imagery that it's hard to know what to fill it with. Emptiness is scary, but then also filling it with too many things is also very overwhelming. And there's just this sense of sort of loneliness, but knowing that they're not alone, if that makes sense. Yeah.
At this point, for better or for worse, the door opens, and Vesper, panting, sweaty, smiling with the rosiest cheeks, opens the door and steps inside, looks at the family, says, "Hi, sorry." And he comes and sits next to you, and he just lays out, so it's great out there.
You smell sweaty and also delicious.
Oh, I'm
I can
sorry.
smell something. It smells of peaches.
Mead! And he looks at the family and apologizes.
Sorry.
The mead that Abe has is so good. He whispered to me that we might have some visions of the future, which is very exciting.
Oh my
I don't know what that
goodness.
means. That actually scares me a little bit.
Yes, me too. I'm glad I didn't have any.
It was really tasty. That was very good. I feel very alive right now.
And flushed.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
I was dancing with the reverse for a second. Do you want to play some carnival games with me? Maybe later. I don't mean to barge into your quiet. I know that you like it.
I think I would like that.
Yeah?
Yes, I think I've had my moment, and let me just say goodbye to the cricket.
Oh, goodbye, cricket. You made friends with the cricket.
Indistinct.
Goodbye, wherever you are. Did you name him?
Oh, just Cricket.
That's a cute name.
I did know a girl once named Cricket.
Did you?
I did.
That's a really cute name.
I know. All right. Ta-ta!
He leads you out of this quiet room, and as soon as you're out the door, there's this thump of the bass of this drum and a violin going absolutely insane somewhere on stage with this wild solo that is again musically amplified. But he manages to lead you around the crowd, not going through it. He's being purposefully careful to take you in a way that is a little bit quieter and not as populated. And he leads you around the dancing crowd, past all of these crafting stalls where you see people making flower crowns and little like mushroom houses and all sorts of little knickknacks and doodads. Around the other side where these stalls are set up with all of these carnival games, and they're multiples of each, but you see a person standing at a table with 3 cups in front of them. You see a wooden plank that's set up, and this person is underneath, and they have their hand up through a hole, and on the hand is this little makeshift puppet of a bugbear, and on the bottom there's a label that says "Whack a Bugbear." There is
Why don't they have this at Renfrew?
right? I wish. They kind of do. They have a guy at a table, and there's a box in front of him with 2 dice. There's a dart game, and there's also snail racing. So
Amazing.
he kind of looks overwhelmed, and he looks to you and he says, "Which one do we do first?"
Well, I feel as though if we chose the snail racing, we might be here all day. I don't know if that's really what our vibe is. What are these dice?
The dice? Oh, come with me. And he leads you over to the person behind it. And she begins to explain this game to you. She says, All right, I'm going to roll these dice. I'm going to tell you what the first one is, and then you have to guess whether the second one is higher or lower than the first roll.
Oh, okay, that sounds
Yeah?
harmless enough.
All right. You first, and then your friend
That's what they
after.
all say. Famous last words.
I know.
Your first roll was a 2. Do you think the second roll is higher or lower?
Oh, higher.
Vesper looks at you and he's like, it could be a 1.
It could be, but I don't know. I'm feeling ballsy today.
Oh my goodness, okay. It's higher. And she lifts the cover on this box and she shows you the first dice was a 2, the second dice was a 3. And she says, 1 point. Would you like to go again? And Vesper looks at you and he says, I need 15 points for a prize that I want to get Rivers.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, are you finally going to make your move?
No, but I just want to get her something to remember tonight.
Oh, that's quite sweet.
I don't look at me.
Let's win it first. Let's win it first.
Okay, the next roll, she says, the first one was a 1.
The second one is higher.
It is, it's a 3.
Oh!
So that's 2 points.
Oh my goodness.
All right, the first dice was a 2.
It's higher. The second dice.
Vesper agrees with you, and she reveals a 2 and a 1.
Oh!
Unfortunately, that ends your round. You do have 2 points.
Oh. What does that get us? What could we buy?
2 points? Well, and
could
she
we buy?
reveals this parchment of like prize wall. 2 is like a rubber ball. But you see further down on the list, there's something on 15 that's a little bracelet that's made of twigs and leaves magically together.
Oh my goodness.
And you can tell at a glance that it's immediately what Vesper wants to get Rivers.
I think we should have a go again.
Again? All right, let's do it again.
I hope the others are having as much fun
I
as
was-
we are.
Simon is definitely playing with the band as much as he can.
Amazing. Make me
Saxophone?
a performance check.
Yes.
Little mini saxophone.
A performance check with
Very
advantage
sax.
because of the brew that you drank.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Amazing.
The dice on the first are 2.
25.
You and Vesper both hear that. What instrument? A lute?
Yeah.
This absolutely insane lute solo jamming in the distance that is being magically amplified above the other instruments.
Vesper, do you hear that?
I do. Do you think?
Yes, it's
Yeah?
Simon. He's been practicing.
This was for the 5 echoes!
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Rivers is like up front.
Good show. Good
How
show.
much peach drink did you all have?
Only a little, but it was really good.
All right. I think the second dice is higher.
Higher?
Unless
she
it's
says-
just a two-sided dice.
She says you're up to 3 points now.
Oh.
Because she reveals a 2 and a 5.
Oh.
And as she rolls the dice again and Vesper very eagerly eyes it, we are going to take a quick break. Go get your snacks, go get your drinks.
What's in that bracelet?
And figure out some feats to take.
Yeah! Figure out some feats to take, and we will see you very shortly. Go hydrate.
Bye.
Bye.
And once again, we're so excited to be sponsored this month by Sync, coming to Kickstarter September 17th. With an amazing creative team and sponsored by Hit Point Press, this is the ultimate pirate and tattoo supplement for 5th edition D&D. It's a 200-plus page book filled with new mechanics and illustrations rendered in stunning tattoo art by tattoo artist Sam Rusk and created by Johnny Stanton and Rick Esquives. Inside the book, you can find 4 brand new subclasses like a Mistbreaker Ranger who wields ethereal harpoons, or a spell skin wizard who tattoos their spellbook onto their very skin. You can find 50-plus magic item tattoos, so much more. You can add the coolest pirates, the coolest tattoos, so many brilliant, beautiful additions to your game, to your campaign, to your characters. Get Sync on Kickstarter September 17th. Don't miss out.
You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot?
What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my Eldritch Foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my Demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multi-class with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah. Sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath! You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot?
What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my Eldritch Foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multi-class with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah. Sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath!
Hello, welcome back. I hope you are properly hydrated, because if not, too bad, we're getting back into it. In the meantime, you and Vesper have gotten 6 more tickets, so you're now up to 9 tickets.
Amazing.
At this point, the person behind the dice is like trying to get you to move on to a different game, because they've given you just about as many points as they can. What are the rest of you doing?
Dancing.
Just dancing?
I don't
Playing
want to
and dancing and yeah, having a grand old time. But yeah,
They're wasted.
I am probably wasted.
Rivers is trying to get Lucyvian to dance with her.
And
She's
I'm
like,
just
come
there.
on.
Oh no, this is good right here.
Lucyvian being the one person standing still in the middle of this throng of people.
Vibing on the inside.
Yeah!
Wait, how tall is Lucyvian again?
He's kind of like 6 feet, like not, yeah.
Rivers, I think she's like 5'1" or something, so she's just like bouncing around and she's like, come on.
Yep, go for it. That's how you dance.
That's how you do it.
That's how you dance.
Vesper brings you over to the Whack-a-Bugbear game. And he's looking kind of nervously at it, but he looks at you and he says, "Do you think I can do it? I don't want to hurt this man's hand."
Well, he's the one who put them in those holes.
He did.
Good point.
The hand gives just a little bit of it like sinks down a little bit in the hole, just like,
Not fair.
Divine Smite.
let's roll to see what it is!
I'll whack you!
Vesper, from the person that's standing next to the booth, takes the hammer that's like clearly foam, very softly padded, and he is going to see... Oh, he did pretty good! He starts to whack the hand every time it pops up with this puppet on it, and he's very clearly holding back a little bit of his strength. He doesn't want to hurt this person, but he's just pop, 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 pop. He manages to get 5 more tickets from that.
Wow.
Vesper, just so you know, it is a foam hammer.
Yes. I'm trying. No, I don't. His hand keeps getting hit all the time by people that are playing this game, and I just don't want to.
Once again, he's the one who stuck it in that hole.
I know it. I'm trying to.
All right. So for your last ticket,
1 more ticket. I'm so close.
How would you like to earn it?
I don't know. There's still the cup shuffle. There's still the dice or the dart game. How do you feel?
I do like throwing things.
Let's do the dot game.
All right, let's do it.
And he leads you over to
You are a
this
very interesting.
this booth where this person has set up a board with all of these balloons on it. And he looks to you kind of expectantly, like, I can't throw things.
Oh, me? You want me to do it?
Please, would you?
Yes.
Give me my last point.
Yes, I shall.
Thank
I shall
you.
give it a go.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
You are throwing a dart. So that is a ranged attack. So you're going to roll a d20 and then add your dex modifier to it.
Oh no. What's my dex?
+1.
Oh, okay. 17.
17.
17. Not bad.
Oh, I say
You hit this purple balloon and pop it. And this little magic illusion of confetti pops out of it. And you have won your last point. Vesper is trying so hard to contain his excitement. You can tell if he let himself loose, he would be like jumping up and down.
Vesper, just let it out. Where is it? Okay.
He
All right.
runs through the crowd to the booth that has all of the prizes, and he quickly swipes up this bracelet that he's been eyeing this whole time. And he comes back to you and he holds it out, and it's a beautifully enchanted little bracelet that's just leaves and twigs that are woven together very beautifully. Do you think she'll like it?
Oh, I think she'll love it. Do you think that you should, if you're not ready to tell her that you kind of like her, do you think it would be a good idea to get everyone just a little something? Just a little something.
Like
I just want to throw more things.
60
Please let me
more
just
tickets.
take these darts. I have 2 left.
Okay.
All
yes.
right.
Keep throwing.
All right,
Yes.
and then I
we'll
go.
see what we get.
Okay.
Make me 2 more ranged attacks.
Oh, 17 and 5.
Okay. The first one goes wide
Oh,
and
oops, sorry.
almost hits someone. Not quite. Your last one, you actually get one of the smaller yellow balloons that's up in a corner. These are harder to hit, so they are worth more points. You get.
I was not aiming for that one, but
you got
but
it.
we got it.
You get 10 points from that tiny balloon that's harder to hit.
Oh my goodness.
He looks at you and he's like, "What do we get?"
I think we should break it up into 5 and 5.
Uh-huh.
So we can get something for Simon and something. Yes?
The rubber balls.
Sure. I have painter's tools. We can draw faces on them.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea.
I love this idea.
Me too.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, 2 rubber balls, please. Your best ones.
You get 2 rubber balls. One is just a plain red with black specks. The other is a red with white and yellow swirl on it. And Vesper is now holding all of these items, and he looks at you like,
What? What?
well, what do I do now?
Have you never given a gift, Vesper? Oh, right.
I mean, except for the food, not
It's just like food, except you don't eat it. So we shall package it up. We shall wrap it up, so it's a surprise.
Okay.
But first, we must paint those
them
quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. He holds them out so that you can paint the faces on them.
And then I do like, I sort of do portraits of them.
Oh, cute.
Okay. Little portraits. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They look so much like them.
I know they could have a conversation right here.
I'm grumpy. Well, I'm well liked by everyone.
That
That's
was
what they're
pretty
like.
good.
Thanks. I think that's what they're like.
All right.
We should wrap them now?
Yes.
With what?
We shall wrap them in, how about a piece of bark?
Bark.
For rivers.
Yes.
That makes sense, right?
That does make sense.
All right. And you can tie it up with, you can just twist moss together. Just make a little string.
Oh! He goes about collecting all of these items, and by the end of it, let's see how well he does.
Does it look like a 3-year-old wrapped
You have
it?
advantage.
He abandons it at
Idaho
one point.
John.
Yeah, why not?
You
Let's
have
see.
any
Let's
advantages.
see. It went from a 3 to a 4.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I think the story is telling me Vesper gives up. And he comes back to you looking pretty defeated, and he says, I think we just give it to them.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go find them. Are you good to go in the crowd?
I think I am ready.
Okay.
I'd probably come down off the stage by this point.
Sweaty. Just sweaty.
Simon, that was amazing.
Was it? Oh,
that
man.
was so cool.
I was just trying to keep up.
You said so hard.
Thank
It
you.
was awesome.
Let's get something to drink or something. Like maybe a hot cocoa. I don't know. Hot cocoa feels weird right now. I'm very
Vesper
sweaty.
and Zoe.
Water.
Vesper and Zoe meet you halfway through the crowd as you are starting to leave
Hey!
it. Hi! Oh, hello! We have things for you!
Luce is around here too. He's just standing still.
I see him. That makes him very easy to see.
Yes.
We have things for you.
What?
We both earned them, and then Zoe painted the faces, which is very good.
Yes.
And he gives you the rubber balls with your faces painted on them, and then he turns
Do you want the one that looks like me? I'll take the one that looks like you. Yeah. Let's try. This is weird. This is great.
I would not have guessed that.
Vesper turns to you, and in his hand, he has this beautiful little bracelet. He looks very bashful, and he's purposefully not meeting your eyes, and he says, I got this for you. I thought you might like it, yeah.
Hey, Zoe and Luce, let's go get us another snack, yeah?
Yes, I would like to try that cocoa.
Oh, cocoa. Yeah, that smelled some immense stuff here. Yeah, you guys, you'll stay here.
Yeah, we'll have a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
We'll be back.
Goodbye.
All right.
You've got this. Just
We awkwardly make ourselves scarce.
Are you still standing there, Luce?
I leave with y'all.
He's just looking around, kind of shuffling a little bit.
You got this for me?
I did, yeah. I saw it, and I thought of you, you know, because you're a druid.
It's really beautiful.
Thanks. I thought you might like it.
I love it. Did you win a lot of games?
So did. So is very good at throwing darts.
I don't know if I would have guessed.
I know. It was kind of a surprise to me too, but she did great.
Oh.
Except for once where she almost hit someone but didn't quite, which is still good.
Yeah, that's better than
She hit
hitting.
this very tiny one in the corner and she got a bunch of points all at once.
Bullet thing? Not person.
No, not a person, a balloon.
Yeah, okay.
Tiny balloon in the corner, not a tiny person in the corner. Would you maybe want to dance with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
All right, cool. And he kind of leads you off into the crowd. And this memory is so warm and sweet, but as you're all looking, it stops. It all freezes. And you are looking into Vesper's face. You are all looking into the crowd, watching this happen. And like a cartoon, this voice, through the quiet, speaks up and says, all right now, I think we've had enough of this, don't you think? And right before your eyes, the image is torn. The memory is ripped, like someone reaching through a TV. This hand, lavender, long fingers, reaches out and grabs you. And you are all pulled into this black void. Standing in front of you is this strange, very attractive person. He has very elaborate clothes, lavender hair. Gender is kind of androgynous.
Oh wait.
He smiles and says, hello. I bet you don't remember me. I'm Emilio. It's so nice to see all of you again. It's been a while.
I don't remember you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, all of our memories are gone.
We know.
I know. Yes. I'm the reason your memories are gone.
Why?
Why?
We made a deal, and this cartoonish contract pops up into the air out of a puff of smoke, and it's just floating next to him. And it's very clearly not a real contract, but it has all of your names on it. And he says, well, we shook. You didn't write on a piece of paper, but we agreed.
What was the deal?
I'm glad you asked. First, let me properly introduce myself. A stage pops up out of the darkness, and he goes and stands on it in a spotlight. And this chorus begins to sing quietly behind him, and he says, I am Emilio. I am the assistant of the Keeper of Secrets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm here to help you, because things were moving a little slow, and we need to move it along.
All right.
Okay.
We made a deal. Time is strange to me, I'm sorry. We made a deal I think, about 400 years ago.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Yes.
Tracks?
Yes.
Let's cut to the chase.
Please.
Your friend, Vesper, that sweet little boy, got into some trouble.
Yeah.
What did he
kind
do?
of trouble?
Why don't I just show you? There's what looks like a mist beginning to form, and he turns and looks at it. All the lights dim, and it's just this mist, and projected on the mist is this image of Vesper. He's standing in his room alone one night, and he's pacing. And he's looking through this scroll of hide. And he's doing this motion like he's flipping pages, and the text changes on the hide. And he seems frustrated. He's got tears on his cheeks. And he tosses it against the wall and it falls down. You can't hear it, but he lets out this cry of frustration. In his pacing, he fails to notice the portal that's opening behind him. In this portal, you see just a vague silhouette of a person. In their hand, they're holding a black dragon's skull. This person in this portal reaches out a hand. Vesper turns around and there's some dialogue shared. You can't hear what it is. Vesper reaches out for their hand and takes it. And Vesper is pulled into this portal. Through the opening of the portal, as it slowly begins to close, you see cinematically a massive dark space, not dissimilar to the one you're in now. And in the center of this dark space is a huge ball of cogs and wheels and mechanical bits. Massive, almost the size of a planet. And over this text, you hear Emilio's voice, a little bit more demure now, saying, "Do you know what this is?"
No, does it any of you?
Should we?
The image freezes, and you see Vesper floating in this dark space, looking up at this giant mechanical planet. And this person beside him, you can't see their face. They are shadowy, holding a black dragon's skull. And Emilio's voice cuts through again, and he says, "Do you remember what Orfeo told you about becoming a god?"
Yes, that it required many years, sacrifice, and there was some discussion, at least I knew about some time it's granted, but it requires souls that need to be sucked and used.
Do you remember what the ultimate goal was? There's one last step you have to do before you become a god.
Sacrifice. Everything.
So close. To become a god, you have to consume a god.
Right. Yes.
This thing you see before you,
That Mecca's.
Right on the money.
No.
Would you like to see the aftermath? And the image begins again. The portal starts to close, but you recognize where this portal is.
Oh no.
On the other side, another portal in the center of town. As soon as whatever happens in this portal happens, as soon as Vesper somehow consumes the god Mechus with the help of this figure, a shockwave, an explosion comes from the portal in the center of the town Mechus. Everything within a certain radius is leveled. You're seeing it almost from a bird's eye view. The blast is massive. And you also see on top of that this wave of opalescent energy going across the land. This wave that topples over people, consumes them. It fast forwards. The image you see next is of all of you moments before the explosion. You are shaking hands with Emilio. And he pauses it again, and he says, I bet you don't remember this.
Just the...
No,
we saw
just
it.
saw that. You
We
saw
saw that. I just saw that our hands. I didn't see you. I saw your hand. And I
What?
saw us die.
Did we know this was going to happen?
Were we trying to stop it from happening?
I appeared, and I told you. Because the Secret Keeper did not like what was happening. So we made a bargain. You would completely forget Vesper. We would seal him away. Somewhere no one could reach him unless you remembered. Those obsidian shards. Every time you had a memory, it weakened the seal where he is.
So he's stuck somewhere?
Yeah.
You mean he did not intend to consume the god of Mechus?
I will say this for Vesper, even though he has done some bad things, he did not fully intend to do them. However, you know what they say about good intentions, right?
Well, he's not a bad person. I think that he must have thought he was saving something, yes?
Who is that with the skull?
Make me an insight check.
That's a 9, but I'm going to use my advantage from the yes, yeah,
Recap.
my inspiration from the recap. Yes. That is a 28.
Ooh.
This name won't mean anything to you. To people elsewhere it will. What will you give me for this secret?
Of gratitude? What do you want?
I don't mean to be a barterer in this moment, but it is unfortunately what I am for. I have to make a deal for secrets, and this is a pretty big one.
Take my instrument.
You love that thing.
Just the lute.
What's on the table? I mean, just a name that I don't know isn't going to get me anything.
You wanted to know who he is?
What is he to us? Who is he to us?
I can tell you.
But I have to give you something as well.
Tell me a secret. In exchange for one.
That's going to be difficult since I don't have a memory.
Well.
So everything's a secret.
Oh, you'll remember. And as he says that, this gust of warm air goes over you, and like dust being blown off a tome, opened for the first time in centuries, you remember everything. And it doesn't feel any different, it's just that now you can remember your parents' faces and what perfume your mom wore and what your siblings looked like and what they liked to eat, what your favorite top was to wear. You all remember everything.
So, with that memory, the secret that I wish to share to get this information is every piece of my known involvement to help Vesper get this information to do what he tried to do. So it's not, I guess, necessarily I didn't know what he was exactly up to, but I know that what I was kind of teaching him in my studies that were between me and him, I finally share with everyone in front of me. And I talk about how he's like, I researched how to create a soul. I didn't know if I was going to use it, but I figured that I would be able to create life with magic and science, and I was too afraid to take the first step, and I don't even know if we want to save Vesper anymore, but I was going to try and use that knowledge now to put his soul in the Steel Defender. And I feel like everything that I shared with him on this journey gave him the pieces of information he might have needed to go down this path. And that is my secret.
That you blame yourself.
I mean,
Luce.
There's a level where you're blaming yourself, and there's a level where you have to take accountability. I was dabbling in things like that, and I wasn't consulting you. I wasn't open. And out of all people, I shared it with this conflicted child because he looked up to you. And I didn't think I'd get it done in my lifetime. So he was my hope. That at least if I didn't get it done, he could. Because I couldn't see the rage inside him.
None of us knew how bad it was.
I mean, did we? Or were we so consumed in our own stuff? You know? How much did I actually ever sit down and talk to him and ask about his upbringing?
But what makes you think that he was rageful and angry?
We saw it and felt it.
And we all have bad days.
Not like what we felt in there. What we felt in there was the energy that was taking everything that I was giving him to try and enact some great justice. And what's even scarier, based on everything that I saw through our journey, I don't think we were on the side of good in his eyes. I think there's a reason he did this behind our back.
Oh my.
And I think the scales of justice in his twisted mind had us sitting on the same side of some of his enemies.
Revenge.
You remember how he looked at us that day? When we had to kill that young girl's father. He couldn't quite get it. I mean, you know what they say about paladins. That's my secret. I would love to hear that name.
That is a good secret. Like I said, this name will mean nothing to you, but there are others that it will mean a lot to. Perhaps there is a way you can share this information. Might be helpful. This man with Vesper, his name is Baron Medulon. He's an incredibly powerful...
I knew it.
Can't even call him a man anymore, I don't think.
Wait.
Okay.
And you know Vesper is a Medulon as well, right?
Oh, the short rest is going to be wild tonight, kids. Anyway, keep going.
wait. Vesper is a Medulon?
No, Medulon showed him how to do it.
No, Vesper's last name.
Oh my god.
M.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
This person. Versions of him exist in many timelines. In many places. Vesper is one. Almost like a distant cousin.
Okay. Okay. You're right. That meant nothing to me. I don't know who you're talking about, what you're talking about.
This information that you're seeing here, I can't just give it to people.
Yes.
I am the assistant to the Keeper of Secrets.
Yes.
Wait, so...
I don't think this is a secret. What happens if Vesper is unsealed?
He pulled it off?
What Vesper thought he was doing, in his eyes, was right. What happened to him was that he was manipulated into becoming something else. Vesper is currently trapped in a cave that we together placed him in.
I knew it. I knew he couldn't have been all bad. He wasn't bad.
But Lucyvian asked, what happens if he gets unsealed?
If he makes it out of that cave, I mean, do I have to tell you, or can you imagine the amount of destruction that someone with nearly godlike powers could wrought on the land?
Is there any bit of him left in there?
Can we reach him somehow?
You have advantage.
I have been hearing someone ask me to find him.
Well, he's been asking us to find him, but what if what Emilio says is true, that every step that we take down this path is helping unleash him?
So it's a lure.
I don't know, but it feels like it.
Your boy Vesper is in there. Somewhere. What happened to him? Consuming a deity, consuming a god, that's a big ask. That's a lot of power in a mortal body. And if you're not prepared, it can destroy you. He wasn't destroyed, but he was split.
Okay. We're talking about bodies.
Yeah.
But I'd like to talk about souls.
Okay.
If we were to recover Vesper's soul, what happens?
To the soul?
To the deity that's kind of, I guess, trying to meld with that soul?
You know, that's a good question. Something like this really hasn't happened before that I know of.
I am putting together the pieces of the ends of the fringe research that comes with this, and if this is a risk that I have to take, at the very least I would imagine a soul ripped from a consumed deity trying to bond with it would leave that deity with nowhere to go.
Well, that depends. Like I said, I don't know what happens.
I know.
This isn't something that happens every day.
I am...
What I can make my most educated guess about is that your friend's soul is in there somewhere, and although he has consumed Mechas, he hasn't consumed all of him.
Wait. Yeah,
What?
because when I pray, when I try to heal, or when I
there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not Vesper, that's what's left over of Mechus?
Do you want to pray to Vesper? Because you can.
Whoa.
Let's come back to that question.
This is like your little brother marrying your stepmom.
Gross! There's this big sign that appears above his head that says gross, and it's got a couple exclamation marks, and it just kind of flashes red.
You know, you were praying to Mechus, and now, you know.
Right. What were we going to say?
Yeah. So, yes.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay. It's a lot. Sorry.
This is very
Picture a soup.
Okay.
Your friend, Vesper, that boy, he's a carrot. Got diced real nice into this soup.
Yes.
So he's the soup. But then you add potato, and you add onion, and you add all of these other things into the soup. How are you gonna get just the soup back if all of these other things are added? I'm not saying it's not possible. Don't get me wrong. But it's something to think about if that's what you're looking for.
Well, if we're talking soup here, and we already have one ingredient in there, what happens when we add more ingredients?
You want to add more to that soup? You sure?
I mean...
What are you trying to add to this?
I'm not sure of anything right now.
I don't know.
I mean... If you had 5 souls to carry the weight, is there a greater chance of survival, a greater chance of control, a greater chance of
keeping your sanity?
That's a lot of souls in there.
Yeah.
That might muddy the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you looking to get just your friend out of this soup? Or something else?
I'm looking at options. Option A is trying to pull this soul out of the soup. Option B is if we know that our biggest problem is this one soul that is connected to many souls in different planes of existence, creating this being who will come out and wreak havoc. I mean, everything I've read about gods is sometimes there's just multiple personalities within them. And if we put 4 more souls in there and try and impart a system of checks and balances.
Trying to stabilize it.
Yeah.
At least so he's not alone.
What other souls are you trying to add? Your own?
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
That could work.
Oh.
That's kind of crazy, but that could work.
Look,
Let me just say this. A soul needs to be fed, right?
Yes.
If it's fed on the right things, it'll turn out in a good way. If it's fed on the wrong things, villains aren't born, they're made.
So we have the option of trying to save our friend or feed him.
Is he the one drawing us to him to remember to find these memories and unleash him, or are we being manipulated now too by somebody?
Now, I don't know fully. In my personal opinion, I don't think you're being manipulated. What I think is happening is that subconsciously, even though the memories are gone, memories still live physically in your bodies. I think you're trying to get to him.
And there's no way to undo whatever he's done to himself?
Not that I know of.
Well.
So he's a god behind bars.
For now.
Held there by you, or your boss.
For a short time, yeah.
Short time as in 400 years?
No, I put you in a stasis to keep you alive.
Okay.
That was 400 years with me. All me, baby.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was hoping that you would not dissolve as much as everybody else has.
I mean,
We've held up okay.
Yeah.
400 years is just about as much as I could do, and also in that time you were not able to think of him, thus giving him power, because gods, they get their power by being known.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
Okay.
So you're the reason why we are not as aged as all of the others.
I tried my best.
Wait, so, and were you the one who took him out of our heads?
Yeah. Well, big guy upstairs did. Keeper of secrets. I'm just his assistant, remember? I just make the deals for him.
Yes, but assistants are very wise, very capable, very smart, and they don't stay assistants.
Well, I don't know if I
You
want
must
that,
have.
but
You must have goals and wants. You must have picked things up along the way. You
Sure.
seem very observant.
yeah, but those are my own secrets. I just want to help.
Liz.
Genuinely.
We might actually be
I
able
wanna
to. We might actually be able to do this.
To feed him.
Standing before you are two, Asimir. We have celestial blood in our body. That has to mean something.
Let me just say, it's not really the type of soul you bring to the party, it's what's in it. Not to be all mushy, but it doesn't matter if you're Aesmar or a tiefling or an ogre. If you're a good person, you're a good person.
All right. And Luce kind of like steps back and kind of chuckles in a way that now that you have all your memories and then that you have you remember all of our time together, you go, it's when anytime he's kind of had the pep talk or the nth of it, everything, like when he's gotten a grand idea, he has this smirk, and you see Luce go and goes, this whole time I've been going through these memories with the POV, trying to find out how we messed up, where we messed up. But what if that's not what the memories were showing us? When we found Vesper, he was raised as a criminal, hated his family. He hates the part of himself that tricked him right now. And every memory he had, as dark as it went, its ups and downs, we were able to show Vesper that there's hope.
There's another way.
There's another way, exactly.
We planted seeds.
And the one time that this mess happens is when he's been pulled away from us and influenced by someone else.
Yeah.
What if that's why we're being called? What if we are the influence that can balance out whatever's about to happen? We're already dead.
I don't have much to lose, I suppose.
Would you be willing, or your boss, be willing to help us have the best shot at this, since it seems like you want to stop him too?
This entire time, there's been this kind of glamorous glow about Emilio. It's all put on for show. And when you say this, it drops, like he just flicked a light bulb off, and he just seems like a semi-mortal, regular being in front of you. And he says, the reason I've been helping you so much, you're good people. The world needs a lot more of that. This boy had a hard life, and you showed him what hope and light can look like, but sometimes when you've had a hard life and you see light at the end of the tunnel, you'll do everything to protect that, and sometimes you'll do everything to protect that.
Yes.
If you get my meaning.
Yes.
I think you are the only ones who can help this boy.
Just out of curiosity, assuming now that he's become a god or a part of a god, what's he the god of?
He's a little strange because he's not quite a god. He's not quite a mortal either. He's something else entirely.
Now.
He, you could say, is a god of longing, of greed, of desire. He's the god of creatures that sit in the dark, remembering what the light looks like.
Oof.
There's a lot of sadness in this world, and unfortunately, that sadness is something that he can feed on now, and it's making him strong.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because we're undead, we don't have souls anymore, correct?
Nuh-uh, Missy.
We do have...
Yeah, you do. That's all me. Why do you think you were in stasis for 400 years? No! I kept you all intact.
He breaks the meta.
I break the meta. Because Emilio can look into you. No, you do have your souls. I mean, it's not something that you would be able to, like...
If anything, our bodies are dying.
Yeah,
and our
your
souls are
physical
still here.
form is dying, but it's not like you can be like, I think I have my soul still. I mean, you don't feel like it's gone.
Okay.
You don't know what it would feel like to not have your soul, but you don't feel less yourself.
Is that's unusual then?
For undead?
For undead. Say we're special.
You are so special. You're very special. Yes.
We're special.
Yes.
Say we're the best undead.
You are the best undead I've ever seen. You're like the elite undead.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's got to be the four of us.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, what are we risking here? Because you seem pretty smart and pretty powerful, and if you're scared of him, that makes me scared.
Not quite scared of him. Scared of what he's tied to. We've all known sadness, and he represents something deep and very, very dark.
So let's just be super clear.
Yeah.
If we can get to him and pull him out of the dark and turn it away, that's what we're trying to do.
Don't ask me. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Is that even a possibility? I mean, we're talking about the loftiest terms here.
Yeah.
I think you have a 40% chance.
Look,
which is better than nothing.
I agree.
Yes.
I just want to be sure that, like...
But then what happens to that darkness? Do we have to put it somewhere?
I think it...
Lock it away.
If I'm catching everything that you're putting down, the crazy thing about the unknown unknowns of goddom is that it seems like it meets you where you're at. And the place where he was at, under manipulation and influence, it was someone who was feeding on all of his insecurities and sadness and hate in the world. So we're trying to inject ourselves to remind him about hope. We're trying to take the 5 echoes and make it one voice.
And get him away from that negative influence that is, I assume that's what's pulling him under.
Basically everything that we've already done.
What if he doesn't want to be saved? What if he doesn't recognize us?
Look, I haven't heard it, but I believe you. He's been talking to you, right?
Yes.
Would someone who didn't want to be saved be reaching out to you?
And I'm pretty
like
sure
we talked about, he could be a trick.
But he remembers us. Either way, whether he thinks he's manipulating us or he's actually asking for legitimate help, either way, he still feels a connection to us, and we can use that.
Perhaps I should act depressed sidle up next to him, and pow, happiness.
Hand with that happiness bomb. Okay.
Would that work? No.
No.
I don't know. It's so confusing.
Who's gonna... This is a scary question. Who's gonna stop us? Or try to stop us? Him? Or whatever he is now?
I can't see the future. I'm not sure what happens when you go there.
What would you be afraid of?
Me?
Yes.
I'm afraid of not knowing.
Listen. We're just getting everything back.
It's a lot to unpack, I know.
Do you think... So continuing down this road, if you hadn't stopped us, we would have released him, sounds like.
You've opened the doorway.
By going to him and enacting this plan that I think that I like, I want to be clear about that. What's the chances that it all goes wrong?
I'm not sure. I wish I could tell you. I could spin a wheel, and a wheel pops up beside him, and it looks kind of like the Wheel of Fortune.
Wow.
And it's got a bunch of numbers and percentages on it, and he says, I could make up facts and make you feel better, but I don't know. Personally, if I was in your shoes, I would be doing exactly that. But that's me.
So we're joining the soup?
I think we're joining the soup. These are all the elements. I'm looking around. I'm just running it back in my head. You teaching him about love, being part of his heart. You teaching him about the connection with people and there. And you teaching him how to feel, how just that gut. And me, of course, the brains, intelligence, inquisitory,
and humility.
You know, he's missing all that in that soup. Right now, he is how we found him. Scared, young, influenced by ne'er-do-wells. I mean, that's how we found him. This orphanage that was having him do crimes.
Do you remember how we got him away from that? And do we remember?
You do remember.
Okay.
It was right before all of these orphanages had been broken up by the law. You, as fledgling adventurers, this was when you were like level 5. This was when you were young. You had heard this rumor within the city. You were trying to make a name for yourselves as do-gooders, trying to become that adventuring party that you eventually became. You heard this rumor in the city that something was happening in these orphanages, and you went and you pulled a full-on heist. And Vesper, you tried to sneak in at night. Vesper saw you. He was awake, walking the halls as he tended to do even when he was an adult, and he led you through. At that point, you were all pretty young. He was like 17. And this gangly-looking teenager with this awful haircut became your confidant inside. And you decided one day, we have to get him out of there. You were the ones that delivered the information and the evidence to law enforcement to take this whole operation down. You were the reason that the Blue Ribbon is no longer in operation. And Vesper helped you. You stole him from that orphanage.
Let me ask this. Even when we were his friends, his family, his party, you know, the other 4 that makes it 5, we weren't enough to stop him from being pulled into doing this.
Well, don't say that. Don't say that you weren't enough. It's not a matter of that. Sometimes you just meet someone in life who has so much darkness that even if you shine a light, sometimes there's not a lot you can do except be there for them and hope that they come out the other side.
Is this Medulon around? Because I'd really like to talk to him.
Trust me, so would I. I would have some things to say. No, Magellon isn't here.
Okay.
But let me just say this. Don't ever say that you weren't enough. Because that's just not true. Any light in darkness is still a light that he will remember. If I am personally telling you how I feel, I think the reason that some of him is still in there is because you showed him what hope and light is like. You introduced him to the idea of a kind world. That's the reason there's still some of him there. I don't know how much. I don't know if it's a lot.
It has to be in there. He's a good person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we must
we go?
go.
We go.
What happens now?
Well, and he takes what materializes in his hand as a zipper, and he opens the darkness that you're in, this magical void, and he opens this unzipped hole, and through it you see a misty island. And very, very faintly, you hear the ringing of bells. And he says, "Welcome to Reunion Island." And that's where we're going to stop this episode for today.
Oh my gosh.
Emilio, you're real weird. Anybody ever told you that?
Rachel!
So, I told you this was going to be the episode of answers. I told them that off camera.
Oh my God.
I was looking forward to this episode so much. I hope you all had a great time.
Oh, I did.
I'm so thrilled with how things are going. You guys are just doing such an incredible job.
That was really fun.
I mean,
Also doing an incredible job.
Yeah, you're crushing.
Blowing away. Yeah. What?
Just having a good
no,
time.
I'm blown away, but also
Just wait for the short rest. Woo, we're gonna get into it. Let's have a fun game
Yeah.
at the end of this, Morgan.
we end every episode by reading off the names of some of our higher level patrons in the styles of their choosing, and tonight I'm just we got some fun ones tonight, I will say though. Okay. So the first one with a suggestion from Tepartos. It's rather apropos, which is waking up and not remembering anything about who you are or where you are.
This is Team Force of Shadow?
Team Shadow, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my god.
am I dead? No.
No, I'm alive. Are you alive?
I'm
think
alive.
you're alive. Yeah.
I think I'm
Am
nuts, but
Oh.
did we drink a lot last night?
I might have because I just burped and it tasted like tequila.
I think there's a Lincoln break in my shoulder.
Found a bottle over here. It's called Black Kakari.
Don't say that name.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, don't say that name or I'm going to fail waffle all over the place.
Oh, I had this one kid in high school. He was such a gateway guy. He got me into that stuff, and I could not stop being drunk.
Never again, never again. Just the smell is making me so sad.
Well, I
Is
got
my
it.
name Idaho Judd?
That sounds right.
Wait,
What
is
made
my
you
name
think of that?
Idaho Judd?
It just felt
Is
right.
my name Idaho Judd?
I think we all might be Idaho Judge, but I'm not abracadabra the memory stuff because I just need to lay back down.
Yes,
Yeah, I want to
let's
go
go back
down.
to sleep.
I'm gonna get
Sorry.
some
Sit up.
water after this.
Black Kakari, never again.
That's a fun one.
For Team Force of Light, this is very specific. We'll see how this goes. I think it's going to be fun. With a suggestion from Idaho Judd, as I said. Where are you? Okay. A Cybertruck owner telling someone about all the problems with the car, but why they still love it.
I would rather die.
Oh man, look, look. It sure don't come with a festive life preserver. But you know what? It looked like it's from a PS1 video game, okay? Have you considered that?
Isn't that like a part of all cars? Is they have to have a festive life preserver? in the
Yeah,
front
but
seat?
it looked like it's in a PS1 video game.
But is it really as like angel-y, devil-y kind of?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like the good and the
it's-
bad.
I think
Is
mine
it
is.
really that cool?
Yeah, mine looks hella dope.
Yeah,
Wait,
because
you
it's
have one too?
Yeah, dude.
I was
my
following
gosh.
this YouTube account called City Racing Girl where
Yeah.
she drove it through a puddle and it just stopped.
Yeah,
Okay, but,
and
you know.
I saw Fender Real
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the same thing happen to their Cybertruck.
Well, look, you just avoid puddles. You know, with his big wheels, I think we can avoid puddles. Why would we do that? You know, and if you have that much problem, you can just sign up, call the Ghostbusters Quick Response Unit.
Wait.
They'll be able to come out and get it back going.
Can you do like those dungeon speed runs like
Oh
into
my
the water?
God,
And then
I'm gonna do
and then,
that.
Like in the water, and then it's like a aquatic.
You can't.
I'll let you know.
can't.
You know,
You can't
you
do
know
that.
from
You can't do
from
that. It
experience.
will shut down.
I will
yeah.
say, I was watching this YouTube, this guy named Breba, and he was saying that like a lot of the cars are getting broken into by raccoons because they think they're trash cans. They think they're
Oh.
like big dumpsters.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, that explains why my
Yeah.
Just Jules is missing from the passenger seat. I had a like peach flavored Just Jules.
Raccoons love Just
unbearably
Jules.
loquacious.
So
Oh, yeah.
loquacious. Do you even know what loquacious? Never mind.
I do not. I straight up do not, bro.
No.
I do not know what that means, and I am okay admitting that.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I stopped wearing masks.
So we
Axe. I wear a 2.0 mask. It's kind of it's like the like it's a cheaper version.
I was wondering
Dope.
what that smell was.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Well,
Dope.
be sure to put ourselves on the list.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It's
Thank you.
super cool.
Yeah. Go ahead. Get it.
There's great dealers at the Tesla dealership.
Okay.
You guys were car salesmen.
Yes,
That's the
absolutely.
plot twist at the end. Thank you so much, Team Force of Light, Team Force of
Yes.
Shadow.
Thank you. That was
We only have one episode left of Lest We Forget,
We
and
only have one episode left.
I'm heartbroken already.
I mean, does it have to be only one?
I mean,
We can do more.
I mean,
Give
that's,
me like
that's up
a
to
little
somebody
bit.
else.
Give me a little bit to think up more plot, but we could get there, and also to talk to Ron.
Oh, like Ron doesn't have some more stories.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel, thank you again, everybody. This has been
Oh,
incredible.
my
I
God.
can't
Yeah,
wait
I love it.
for
That's
next
good.
week.
Yes.
scared.
I
just
have
hitting
no
our
idea.
stride.
I have no idea what next week is. I'm sure
Yeah.
she does.
No, I don't. I have no idea what's gonna
It's
happen.
kind of. It just feels like an emotional battle. Are we
Yeah.
gonna roll to attack emotionally?
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack with my feelings.
I cast.
Constitution to
I
not cry.
We'll just Care Bear stare.
We'll just
Yeah.
Care Bear
Yeah.
stare over
Great.
and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I'm so down for this. I'm so down for this.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here. Please go hydrate. Go get
Yes.
some comfort snacks. Have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go around real fast. Say what your name is, who you are, where am I, and tell me where I can find you on the internet.
I'm Morgan Peter Brown. You can find me at Morgan Peter Brown most places, or Morgan Pete Brown.
What?
Because we've been over this. My name is one unit too long for X Twitter name length. I don't know any other things.
Anything
Yeah.
to promote?
I'm in a movie that's gonna come out later.
Yeah!
Yeah.
We're always ready. You didn't.
It's
hear
gonna be
this.
cool.
You didn't hear this from us.
Hey, so in case you haven't noticed, I changed my professional name to Kiki Lee.
Kiki Lee!
From Carrie Lee Cartwright, but it's something my family calls me, and it means a lot to me, and it just feels more like me. So anyway, I did not change my Instagram handle. It's still just a little KLC because
You never
Yeah.
letters. Yeah. I'm sure I have something coming up, but I don't know.
You did an episode of a TV show, but I don't know if it would have aired yet.
Oh, it hasn't aired yet, but that'll come later.
Be on the lookout.
Matlock. I'll tell you. It doesn't matter.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates.
But everything I'm doing, if he's gonna say it, if he's gonna say he's doing it, it's really me.
Oh.
news to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
Hey, Ify Nwadiwe on all the social medias. And check there to see when I'm doing a show. I got lots of fun stuff on the way. I'll be at PAX Unplugged. I'll be at MagicCon. And I think that's all. And then there's probably going to be a bunch of improv stand-up mixed in there. So just watch that space. Yeah, and Morum actually, that's going to be on the way in a couple, it's going to be fun. But it's a ways away. But yeah, it's going to be ready.
Yay! Hi, I'm Erika Fermina. You can find me at erika.fermina on Instagram and TikTok and X, and on Twitch I'm still a style pixie because I haven't changed those. It happens. And I think the only thing I have coming up is Cherry Hill is returning. It's a modern D&D 5e horror game. It's Sunday nights.
Yes.
And that's on twitch.tv/CherryHill ttrpg.
Sweet.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And I'm Rachel Seeley. You can find me at Sunny Seeley on everything. It's Seeley. And actually, we do have something to promote, Erika, because Thursday, this week when we're filming, we're going to talk about it, but we have a web series that I wrote that we're starring in.
You look surprised. Do you not remember?
Did he not know? Oh, okay. We're going to be promoting it on, it's already been promoted and the first episode is premiered by the time this comes out. But, go check our socials. It's called They Were Roommates. It's really stupid and really fun. It's just me and Erika being goofy, and it's a good time. Yeah. And I wrote
Everyone dies at the
You wrote it. Everyone dies.
Roommates. Past tense. Don't think about it too much.
Don't think about it too much. It's a really good time, and that's all I really have to promote. Except for the most important thing: be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Drink some water.
Register to vote.
Register to
and then
vote.
check to see if you're still registered often.
That's very smart and very important.
Truth.
At the end of it all, humankind.
Be both.
We'll see you next time for the final episode.
Bye. Don't forget to vote.
Bye.
It started. It started. It started. As a simple dungeon run. As a simple dungeon run.